was not ready. I'm sorry.
And you never will be, because that's our motto at the Round Nintendo podcast.
Oh, no, I'm very ready for these podcasts. I'm just not ready for that. Well, I guess I wasn't ready for the podcast, but I said I wasn't ready. But
Is anyone ever really ready? Were we really ready for what's been happening this last, couple weeks?
No, it's been wild these last couple of weeks.
And because of that, I'm a drink to it. Salud, mis amigos.
That's a Monster Energy drink. I also have a quart of vitamin water. Kevin, you bought me a quart of vitamin water.
That's all
Actually, we should say who we are.
That's how much blood I donated on Monday.
I'm drinking the amount of blood
That's
you donated.
scary.
Well, anyway.
I got the Bruce to prove it.
Good for you donating blood, though, especially now in these trying times. But anyway, I'm Jason. That's Angel.
Yes.
And that's Kevin.
I think.
I'm pretty sure. And welcome to episode 224 of the Nintendo Podcast. We're calling this episode Back on Tour because later in the show we'll be revisiting Mario Kart Tour thanks to its new multiplayer mode, which, yes, if you're keeping score at home, only took 8 months after the release of a Mario Kart for it to get a multiplayer mode, which is absurd. But this episode, I mean, we were saying it's a weird time, right? And it is I don't think anyone thought 2020 would be this all over the place. I mean, obviously there's, global pandemic canceling E3 and being a global pandemic. And then on smaller scale, there's weird stuff like Reggie's now working for GameStop and Nintendo's making Legos and making physical IRL Mario games with Lego. There's all this bizarre stuff. So here we are with those topics. Since none of these topics really have anything to do with each other, we're going to approach this a little bit like our episode's namesake, Mario Kart. And you know how in Mario Kart you hit the item block and it randomizes and you get whatever item you get?
I've never played Mario Kart.
Really? You've never played Mario Kart?
Never.
You're on a Nintendo podcast, so you've never played Mario Kart. Interesting to know. Well, anyway.
Man, I just play without items, so I don't even know what those
It wasn't on the requirements.
We have no requirements. That's the problem. But it's can you talk? You're in. But yeah, we're doing the equivalent of this foreign concept of the iron block to everyone in this room. And we're going to hit the iron block as represented by the sound, of course, of the iron block, which is what else?
Or we can just use it and actually start.
Right, and then we're going to have it randomized and we're going to pick a topic. So,
I feel like they sound different in Deluxe.
They probably do. This is from Mario Kart Wii, specifically.
The worst one.
I agree. But given the trying times we're in, the worst item block is the one of 2020. 2020 is the worst Mario Kart, really, right? So, yeah, if you don't want to play this game of randomization at home, randomtown.com, or this YouTube video, if you're on YouTube, have timestamps on the blog post under the video. You can dance around this completely, but what's the fun in that? So, should I pick our first topic? Should I spin the wheel and see what comes up, so to speak?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Whoa.
I know, it's like we're in the game.
Yo.
Reggie joins GameStop.
Reggie joining GameStop. All right, so...
the banana of... today's topics.
Yeah, really, right? But it's I mean, honestly though, who would have predicted that? Who would ever think that the sentence of Reggie joining GameStop would be something that we'd be saying, especially right now in after he left Nintendo and retired?
Although him joining it does make me extremely curious, what he even plans on doing. Because I mean, he obviously wouldn't be joining if he didn't already have some kind of plan in mind. He's not going to be I'm going to join this sinking ship and just tell them, yeah, just quit.
Listen, when ships are sinking, rats flee and Reggie jumps right on. I mean, he has a history of this stuff.
So is that why was Nintendo or what?
Well, sort of. Nintendo was not in the best position when he joined. I mean, if you listen to that Cornell podcast he did however many months ago, he was saying Nintendo's marketing was basically a mess. He didn't even own a GameCube when he started. I know. He didn't even own a GameCube when he started Nintendo, but he has a history of this. VH1, the rebrand they did in the early 2000s or late 90s or whatever it was, that was him. The Bigfoot Pizza at Pizza Hut, that was him.
The Bigfoot Pizza at Pizza Hut? What is that?
Clearly he left his mark.
Well, he did in a way. So he actually considers that a failure. So in the 90s, Bigfoot Pizza Hut had an idea of, well, what if we beat the other guys by having the biggest pizza you can get? So it was this massive pizza that was dirt cheap. And the trick was it was the same Pizza Hut pizza you love, but not really, because what they did to keep the price down is they got a whole second set of ingredients, and it was hugely popular because it was so cheap and the ingredients were of a lesser quality.
Right.
And then it did really well, and in short term it was great, but then Pizza Hut started getting the reputation of having bad pizza. And Reggie was saying on this same podcast I just mentioned that he considers that a failure because he ended up hurting Pizza Hut long term because everyone just assumed their pizza was now bad and they started going to other companies. But in the moment, for a year or two, it was the thing until people got sick of it.
I mean, Pizza Hut pizza is terrible. I got food poisoning from it And that's all I will say on that.
Well, anyway, so he does like to jump on sinking ships, but we should be clear here. He's not an employee of GameStop. He's joining the board of directors, meaning he's advising GameStop on what to do. So he's not like, they're of course paying him out a decent amount, but he's not like, going in and being like, man, I really got to go tell everyone to buy a Game Informer subscription and, are they sure they don't want to get the used version for $5 less or trade their game for $2? Like, he's not doing that.
In case anyone assumed that.
In case anyone assumed that you go in, you're like, where's Mother 3? And he's behind the counter like, I have it right here. Like, that's not.
The president of Nintendo is going to be like a regular, not even like the GameStop, like the store manager.
Not even like the district manager.
Just a grunt.
Yep, exactly. But the timing of it's really interesting because, like, it is a sinking ship. GameStop's super down and out right now. With digital downloads growing and everything, they've tried to pivot towards selling merchandise. Like, if you walk into one, it's like a weird hybrid of Hot Topic and a game store. Hasn't really worked too well. Apparently, their stock, as of a couple weeks ago, was trading at $3.50. Prior to the coronavirus crash, was trading at $3.50,
so
which is down.
Like even less?
I don't even know. But as of now, a year ago, it was $11. 5 years ago, it was $40 to $50. According,
How the mighty have fallen.
I know. There's this rating agency called Moody's, which is a big, they rate all different stocks. They say it's junk. The company's debt is so bad that they've downgraded it to junk status, and they say that there's basically no hope for them in the future. And even this past holiday, their sales were down 27% compared to a year prior. So they're in trouble. And what really kind of sucks for them is it's all unfolding at a time when, like, the game industry as a whole is just kind of, like, not doing so hot because, like, we're in a weird in-between with, generations. So I didn't want to start with this, but the randomizer chose it. So NPD numbers came out this morning. No, it'll be very quick.
It's like peeling the Band-Aid.
All I was going to say
Blue shell, it's not
listen, someone, I know of at least two people out there, and we have more than two listeners, but I know of at least two people out there who appreciate this segment. That I'm not calling Jason Sales Corner. I don't know. But anyway, what I was going to say is, like, I'm not getting into, like, too much of the nitty-gritty of the numbers, but, like, the February numbers came out on Friday, and it's not great. Like, the entire industry is down 29% compared to a year ago. That's $755 million. Hardware is down 34% because no one's buying Xbox Ones and PS4s. It's the end of their life. Software sales, like physical, is down a third, 31%, because there's no games. Have you noticed nothing has come out since the start of the year? Last year in February, we had Anthem, Far Cry, Metro, Jump Force, all of those. This year we have literally nothing. Nintendo didn't put out a single game in February.
I mean, those are mediocre games.
But they all, like, had crowds that would buy them.
Mediocre sales.
Anthem was, like, on the charts for a month or two and then tapered off. But that month or two was in this period. But yeah, I launched that number. I mean, it was on, like, number 7, but it still was on the chart. But compare that to now when we have literally nothing. There's no game.
I mean, true, I guess.
Yeah. There's
relatively.
Relatively. There's 0 games. If you look at the top 20 best-selling games of February, none of them are new releases. They're all old games coming back because there's just nothing to buy. Apparently, there was a new release. I forgot what it was, but it came in at number 33.
Can't even think of a big new release for any of the consoles.
Exactly. It's been dead because everyone delayed their stuff. Everyone.
I keep thinking like, oh, well, like, every game I'm thinking about, like, hasn't even come out yet. Because I'm looking forward.
Literally the only one that I can think of.
Which one?
Grand Blue.
There was Dragon Ball Kakarot in January.
Oh, that's right.
And that was number 1 in January, number 2 in February. So it's carrying. It's actually, as of right now, the best-selling game of the year because there's nothing else. But
that game does look cool.
It does look cool, but it's just like
definitely looking forward to Final Fantasy
7 remake
next month.
April.
End of April.
Wait, it's March next month.
And Resident Evil 3 comes out when?
Isn't that also April?
I hope not.
I don't know, maybe not. But on the Nintendo side, there's Animal Crossing in a few days.
Yep.
And Doom. Well, not on Switch though.
Already pre-downloaded on my Switch.
And Persona 5 Royal.
Animal Crossing. Not Doom.
I'm very afraid that, like, of all the things to be afraid about with coronavirus, which we'll talk about later with E3, I'm very afraid of the fact that Best Buy's going to close and I won't be able to get my physical copy that I pre-ordered, and then I have to download it, and then my collection is ruined. That is the real concern of coronavirus, right there.
For which game?
But Animal Crossing.
I just pick it up once it opens up.
But
you'll be fine.
Well, I'm just going to not play Animal Crossing?
You'll be fine. Just
how's that any different from your normal life?
Touche. But no, what I was going to say is, excluding the all the sad numbers, I was saying the one glimmer of light is the Switch with the industry right now. It's the best-selling hardware for the month again. Ring Fit Adventure is actually charting higher than before. It's number 8 in the top 10. Previously, it was number 9. That was its previous peak. Second best-selling Switch game behind Mario Kart. So people want to exercise, and probably as they're stuck at home, it's going to keep selling, which is nice. But also, it also helps that the Switch had a ton of marketing in February. They had no new games, but they promoted it as if they did. I mean, they had a Super Bowl ad. Granted, it was 30 seconds after the Super Bowl ended.
Super Bowl happened already.
Yeah. Yeah, the start of February.
It's been a weird year.
It's a weird year. But yeah, they ran an ad for the father-daughter Link's Awakening ad right after the game, which is the most Nintendo thing to do.
The longest year ever.
I know, seriously. The last 2 days have been the longest year ever. But yeah, the most Nintendo thing in the world. Super Bowl ends, everyone turns off their TV, and Nintendo goes, wait! But we are in the Super Bowl, and runs their ad at half price or whatever. But anyway, to circle it back, it's fitting that with Nintendo being the only thing saving the industry, now the guy, everything that's up, now the guy from Nintendo is the one trying to save GameStop. So I don't really know. Like he's joining the board with the ex-CEO of Walmart and the current CEO of PetSmart, because in his words, weird collection of people. In his words, the game industry needs a healthy and vibrant GameStop. That's what Reggie tweeted. And when I saw that, I was like, does it?
Absolutely. As much as I dislike that place, GameStops are one of the few like brick and mortar stores that you can get for just plain video games. I mean, you can go to Walmart or Target, sure, but Best Buy, but
I like visiting GameStops, even though like I feel they are important. Not necessarily like GameStop what it's been doing, but I feel like I don't know I'm just gonna skip to what I think like they should do. Like first and foremost, I think they need to really rework their rewards program, because the rewards program sucks. Like the main reason I don't even really shop there, I just kind of go there just to look at what's available and maybe their used stuff, which is kind of cool, because sometimes they do carry a lot of used games, which is really helpful when I'm looking for really old stuff. But like at Best Buy, like everything you buy gives you points that literally just turns into like money that you could use to buy anything else. Yeah, that's unfair to GameStop, but like if they had a point system that lets you build credit to buy any kind of game, new or used, that'd be great. Right now, their point system only really rewards you with used games.
What if the points went towards that half of the store that looks like a toy store?
Or anything, exactly. Like now that they've expanded to other merchandise, it'd just be nice to be able to like use that credit for anything. But it kind of feels like that credit is just being used, built up for nothing. And for a while, they did have like Club Nintendo style rewards. Like, oh, if you build up enough points, you could get like this awesome replica axe from World of Warcraft, and that was pretty cool. But they phased that out, and
even Nintendo doesn't do that.
It went from like cool exclusive stuff to stuff you can find at Hot Topic, like I don't know, like wallets, like
or like whatever. A mug that looks like a warp
mugs,
pipe.
Lanyards, posters.
Well, it's when they bought ThinkGeek, they got all that inventory they could use, and it's just like like ThinkGeek makes some cool stuff.
It's like
but it's all like
it's like they were cooler before ThinkGeek.
It's all
it's like
it's all like commodity items versus like more exclusive.
Just like incentivize me to buy stuff there, because right now like Best Buy makes it way too convenient to go there.
Yeah, and not to mention and they got rid of Gamers Club Unlocked, and it's still more convenient.
Yeah, because even without that, like just being part of the Best Buy, or I guess having the Best Buy membership, you get free shipping, you get free 2-day shipping. So it's basically like Amazon. Like buying stuff online from them and Amazon have been like very interchangeable with purchasing things, but games like almost exclusively buy at Best Buy.
So do you think? So Best Buy phased out their Gamer Club Unlocked, which gave you $10, 20% off, $10 off every new game you bought on the spot for a while, and then they phased that out. Amazon got rid of their like pre-order incentive. Well, not pre-order incentive, but got rid of a similar thing. Do you think that now opens a door if GameStop's going to take the short-term hit for actually... Like, do you think if they turn around their reward program, that might be what it takes? Because, I started going to... I did Best Buy anyway, but I jumped in more because of the program.
Because even then, like, the majority... now that I go mainly digital, like I bought Animal Crossing digitally, I'll still buy the cards at GameStop. At Best Buy, just to get the points. Yeah. Because it's like, why not? And then I even buy the card digitally through their website, and then I just get the code, put it on the Switch, and everyone wins. Well, it's a win-win, I guess.
Yeah, that's... It's interesting because I remember GameStop tried. They were like, we're going to redo our reward program to mirror, and it was kind of like to make it like Best Buy, but then they didn't get any of the numbers right. Like it was like the percentage was too low, and the points were, like the number of points you needed was too high, and.
But yeah, they need to they need to start again with the reward system. I mean, I feel that's kind of the core of it. That's like the reason why you would buy it at place A versus place B. I could walk to a GameStop. There's like 2 walking distance, yet I still would rather go to the Best Buy.
Do you think, since I guess we are kind of on the topic,
a few times I buy something physically.
Right. So you think it should stay, Kevin? You were saying you think because it's one of the few brick and mortar.
Well, no, just
left.
like a gaming store in general. But if this one is to stay, this is what the first step they could do.
There's no one else, really.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I was thinking
what would you want to see?
I was thinking just like more rural areas that don't really rely on a good internet connection, because for some gamers out there that don't have the I guess the, what would you call it, the
bandwidth or the
bandwidth,
ISP
but just
speeds,
just the privilege to have gigabit internet out in the middle of nowhere.
Nice.
I mean, GameStop might be that destination for like Angel said, for like older games and stuff like that you won't be able to get digitally. As far as what they can do to save themselves, I have no clue. I do not know what to do.
I have one idea, because the thing about, if you look at the other industries that have are based around different mediums, right? You have bookstores and you have movie theaters, right?
Right.
And both of those very strongly encourage hanging out there. Obviously, movie theaters are watching movies.
So GameStop is already doing this.
Oh, are they? Oh, right. They're doing that test market.
Test market, I think, in Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's right.
Or something like that.
Which, to your point, a rural area that might have slower internet, that's kind of a smart place to try it.
Yeah, so what GameStop is doing is it has like some of these, I don't know what they're calling them, but they're like little hubs. One picture showed like eight computer stations set up, all playing Fortnite. So like after school, you just go play some computer games with your homies, or I think they said that they had a space for like board games and stuff like that, which. And I don't.
Very quiet, high pitched one.
And I don't think they're selling games in some of those stores.
See, I think that's a missed opportunity. I think that if they combined, I think this is what this prototype story you're describing makes sense, because they're basically doing what comic book shops do. Like when you go to comic book, there's a core group of people that can keep those little mom and pop comic book shops alive, because they're going to play Magic and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Whatever the kids are into these days. I don't know what else there is. And
I can tell you most of those aren't kids.
I know, they're all adults now. They're all us. But
Magic the Gathering was never meant for kids.
I know, it was always teens and up. Magic the Gathering is what little kids grew into after Pokemon. That's why Wizard set up how they did.
It feels like everyone at work plays Magic the Gathering, because
some people at my office do too. Yeah.
There's a lot of tournaments and draft nights and all that stuff.
But to that point, those people that play it probably do the equivalent of the Pokemon Trading Card Game League, which I'm a proud 2 badge holder of from when I was a kid. 2 out of 8, but that's 2 more than either of you guys, I bet. And
that's still an F, by the way.
No, but it's not. It's not like you have to get all 8 to win to get. Oh, it is.
The whole point.
But it's not like a class where it's like I didn't know things. I just didn't progress. It's like a progress.
I started something you guys didn't. Therefore,
I'm ahead of you by definition. Am I wrong?
Mean, just barely.
Am I wrong? 2, not 1, 2. And I still have them. I should bring them sometime.
I know, they're like pieces of paper, aren't they?
No, they're actual metal badges that say Pokemon on them. And
the ones I saw at your house
look. Nope, they are metal badges. I mean, they're printed on metal. They're probably
so they're like a flat.
You made it sound like, keep in mind, people don't know. People haven't seen them. You made it sound like I just got a Post-it note that said you're a good kid on it or something.
No, you made it sound like it was like a badge, like that one that I'm pointing to.
That no one else can see. No,
above the Splatoon, that's like the actual rainbow badge.
Oh, yeah, no. So he's pointing to a iridescent, metallic, very nice rainbow badge.
Official Pokemon
Mine's
one
like,
too.
you know when you get a badge, you know when you get one of those buttons that says like, Happy Birthday when you go Chuck E. Cheese or Disneyland or something, and it's just printed. It's like basically a blank metal disc that they print on top of and they kind of wrap the paper around.
Right.
It's somewhere between that and a real pin is what these badges are. But again, 2 that you
Better
don't
than
have.
paper, though.
2 that you don't have. No, but my point is those things could keep those shops going. And there's enough of a clientele, so to speak, to keep it going. So yeah, I imagine the prototype store, if they did that and tacked it on with a game store, or maybe they scale back. You don't need every single used game box on the shelf at all times.
They also don't need.
Yeah,
there's something they need to change too. They need
stickers.
Yes, the paper stickers they absolutely do.
Well, it kind of
absolutely.
Wait, he's about to go off. Hold on.
It kind of goes off.
Let him go off.
All right, go.
You are. Oh, I already know that. I understand that you're hemorrhaging money right now. So right now, keep the paper stickers. 10 years ago, when GameStop was the place to go, and their profits were huge, you use paper stickers. Paper stickers. Those are like 5 cents. You know, a plastic sticker maybe costs 50 cents. You know how many boxes were ruined because of those things?
Countless.
That's why you guys are in the crapper now, because you use those paper stickers.
Well, on top of that, what makes that...
I really wanted to cuss in there, but...
we could have bleeped you.
I mean, what makes that so much worse, which is what I want to get into, is it really always like infuriated me whenever they would open up all the boxes.
Yes.
And then put the stickers directly on the plastic itself instead of just leaving the saran wrap on. Like, and then they were like, "Oh, we're all out. Let me just give you the one on the shelf." Like, no, don't give me the one on the shelf.
Okay, so
wait. I meant what's your grievance with it?
That they would just like open up the.
He's saying the same thing.
They would open up the game cases and just like leave them on the shelf with the saran wrap, without the saran wrap, and then just apply the sticker directly on them, and also sometimes just sell you directly the ones that are on the shelf.
And he means new games, not used games.
Just new games.
Because what they used to do is they'd have. Because for whatever reason, even though they're the biggest game retailer in the world, they can never convince any of the publishers to, give them an empty box. They would have actual copies of the game that they would open
and leave like
new copies, sell as new, quote unquote, while secretly probably the employees took them home and played, which is another thing.
And they'll leave the instruction booklet on this, so people would always get the Club Nintendo points from those.
Yep.
And just,
but the case would just be an open case, and they'd stick the stupid paper sticker on top of the plastic case. So when you're like, oh, I want that last copy of Chibi Robo, because it's like let's say Park Patrol, because that was a rare one, even though it's Walmart exclusive, roll with it. And then they're like, oh, well, funny enough, we only have this one copy left, so we can give it to you. Let me just get the little baggie from the drawer that has your cartridge in it, and I'll take it out of the baggie, put it in the box, and close the box. Oh, but the sticker's on it. Well, sorry. So you get an open thing as if it's new. That, the pre-order, or not the pre-order.
It made it feel cheap. I always feel like cheated out.
I think there are 3...
Let me unwrap it.
I just noticed how high my sound bars are spiking because I'm getting very passionate about this. As someone that likes physical boxes.
Because your voice is nasally.
No, but more so. Like it's as if my voice is like up in space. It's so high right now. But anyway, it's that the stickers, the opening boxes, and letting people take it home and saying it's still new and selling it at full MSRP, and the heavy pitching they had to do, which was a corporate mandate that when you go in and you buy your game, like, do you want Game Informer? No, I'm good. Do you have any games you want to trade in? No, I'm good. Do you want to pre-order this? No, I'm good. But if you don't pre-order now, what if you don't get it? No,
I don't even have that console, sir.
Yeah, no, literally, there was one time I was there because I used to go all the time. When I was still in Montana, I used to go to the Software at Sarah there, and the staff actually knew me really well and started saving me promotional displays of Nintendo stuff, which was really nice of them. Like I have a Star Fox book and a big poster.
EB Games.
Yeah, they were all great when they were all individual, and then they merged together. But anyway, I remember, so they were great, but then when I moved out here, so like that was like the ideal store, and then I came out here, and I remember every time I went, they were always, even though they recognized me because I'd always shopped there, they would just keep being like, do you want pre-order this, and this, and this? And I'm like, I was just here like 5 days ago and said no to all 8 of those, and I only own one of the 5 consoles you're trying to sell me. But it was, yeah. So I think the over-aggressive everything was the problem. They took for granted the position they were in.
Does Game Informer still do print?
They do.
They do?
But they scaled back, though. They laid off some staff like half a year ago. Maybe?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah, but it's, so I think, step one is treat your company like you're in 2020. Like, treat your customers like you're in 2020. Like, you can't pull that stuff. This isn't like an 80s mall anymore. Like, people are more sophisticated with their shopping. So you gotta account for that. And number 2 is, I think, if they did like look how successful Dave & Buster's is, or like VR arcades, as weird as they are, seem to be at the moment. There are way too many and a bunch of are closed. Right now, like Dave & Buster's at least is killing it. So if they take a little of that, a little of like a classier shopping experience, like how Best Buy transformed into like basically, Best Buy was going down now, and then they got all these brands to come and do little spaces inside, basically became like an electronics mall. Like if they work
Amazon shop,
okay. Like you know what I mean. Like they have a Samsung section. Yeah. And it's just like this whole thing, and Samsung Apple, customizes it, and Apple section, and Dell weirdly, or no, not Dell, but HP and Windows. Like if they do that with the companies, basically how like if you go to Target or Best Buy, like actually Best Buy is the best example. Nintendo has like a real like decked out red section. They have like sections with different type of Switch units you can demo. Some are on a TV, some are like handheld, like an iPad, and everything's character driven. Do that in GameStop. Class it up, give some stuff on the side for people to do if they just want to hang out. make it like basically a comic book shop, and I think maybe that could do it. Maybe. Because I guess it is true that they are...
It's an uphill battle for them,
It's very much. I think they squandered all their goodwill years ago. But if anyone can do it, Reggie. Even though he's just an advisor and can't actually do anything.
Well, we'll see, because...
The Bigfoot GameStop. Whatever that means.
The Bigfoot of GameStop. They're going to give everyone just like... You buy one pre-ordered... Or you get one pre-owned game and they just tape 6 other ones to it? Is that how you make a Bigfoot GameStop? Just like... You just get a cluster of games every time you buy?
Yeah, just do like a blind bag. Like, here's a bag, buy it for $30. You'll get 7 used games. Who knows what you get?
You know, that would be kind of fun in the way that Loot Crate is for some people.
Yeah, it's like...
Especially for like people that like collecting old games.
You might get a copy of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on the Dreamcast in there.
Or maybe Superman 64.
Yeah, like...
You never know. And that's the fun of it.
Oh, they went through that retro phase too, huh?
What?
They went through that retro phase where they were starting to sell like Super Nintendo games and 64 games.
Which was smart, except they didn't adjust any of their policies or any of their... Like, if they're going to do that, you need to, like, make the... You know, keep the box in good condition, not put stickers on them. They were still doing that at the same time.
Oh, man, those paper stickers.
Yeah, the stickers. Dude. But anyway, I wish GameStop the best, because, like, it's true. You guys raised a good point. There is nothing else like it for gaming. There's no physical gaming location, so we kind of need it. But we'll see. Reggie, do work your magic, whatever that magic is. So that's topic number 1. Do we want to hit the shuffle button again real quick? Oh, I need to hit the shuffle button. All right, here we go. What's topic number 2 gonna be?
E3 getting canceled.
Wow, it's all the weird news. You know, I didn't realize about this until now.
What?
Let's play it again. That's a really long sound effect. Like, when I was, like, sampling them, I'm like, oh, like, 3 seconds, that's nothing. But when you're sitting here silently and everyone's on the other end just like, can you just say the next topic, please? That's a really long sound effect. But guess what? We're going to do it, like, 4 more times, guys, so brace yourselves. Yeah, so E3
4
being
more times?
canceled.
That doesn't add up.
3 more times. Unless you forgot to write down one of the topics that Kevin proposed.
I guess I did.
Okay, well, we're shoving that one at the end. Well, we'll just add to the random shuffle. Anyway, so yeah, E3. Well, this is going to be a fun one because, like, the world's in chaos right now, and that's what's driven this. But of all the things in this episode that we're going to be discussing, I think probably the cancellation of E3 is the biggest of the bunch. Like, the ESA made the tough call earlier this week to not just postpone, but outright cancel E3 2020, which isn't going to happen or wasn't going to happen until June 9th through 11th. So it was months away. And, like, for me at least, and I imagine most gamers out there, the immediate reaction is disappointment. I mean, obviously, like, people's health and safety come first. But, you know, it's still okay to be sad about something that's less serious than death, even if it's driven by, like, people dying and that's why they're doing it. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to be like, oh, I'm sad this thing's ending, even though, like, it's to prevent death.
You were losing me for a second there.
Did I say it weird? I think I said it weird. But yeah, and like, for me in particular, I say this time and time again, but I love these sorts of events because, like, it brings the industry together, lets you be at the epicenter of it all, you know, all that. And no matter, like, what they do in lieu of it, we're not getting that. So it kind of becomes like, what does this? Well, first, do you guys care? Does E3 disappearing affect you and your day or anything? Or you're like, eh?
One less thing to worry about.
That's fair. Kevin?
I mean, Sony wasn't going to be there. Nintendo could still put on a presentation. Xbox, I don't have one, so
screw them. What about you, Kevin?
I'm only more disappointed that we're not going to get a Giant Bomb E3 segments with special guests and stuff like that.
Yeah, like the nightly show they do.
Then E3 at night. Yeah,
and that's.
I am bummed that I got in as industry this year and I won't be able to use that. I was looking forward to having that badge. But.
Yeah, we could have both gone on Media Day because I had media and you had industry. And Media Day is also Industry Day, and Kevin would have applied and gotten in as well. I would assume, but we'll never know. But yeah, in terms like to your point about the Giant Bomb thing, I think that's the bummer. Is like. I mean, for me, besides me, like, looking at the broader audience, the bummer is, like, we're still going to get the news cycle. Like, the ESA claims they're going to coordinate with all the various publishers to have, like, a digital version of E3 this summer, which I think just translates to Nintendo airing its typical Direct and now every other company following suit. Like, Xbox already confirmed they're going to do a digital presentation, Ubisoft and EA. And EA, by the way, isn't at E3. They're across LA doing EA Play every year. But they're saying they're looking at options. But, like, all those companies, like, that was the start of the week. But it was then, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday when you had Giant Bomb, Treehouse Live, like all that stuff. And, I mean, you could do Treehouse Live, but are they really going to do 3 days of broadcast from just a random room in NOA?
Yeah,
Why not?
I mean,
I guess you could.
absolutely can.
But then Giant Bomb could do the same thing and just have people fly in, like theoretically. Because part of what Trails Live did is they had guests from the other companies come in. So I equate them in my head to being pretty similar.
I mean, yeah, theoretically they could do that, but like I always loved them talking over like the press conferences and and it's because like specifically Giant Bomb has a West Coast and East Coast office, so they would all come together to I was like,
which goes back to my like whole industry coming together thing that I like about it. Yeah, and it kind of sucks because this year apparently Kotaku was reporting that WB Games was going to host a press conference for the very first time. They're going to highlight a new Batman game. They're going to show a new Harry Potter game, and they're going to show a new game from Rocksteady, as in Arkham, that isn't the Batman game. Probably that Superman game or something. But like they were going to go all out, and
I mean they still can. They're just not going to have a live audience to react to it.
And that's the thing is like WB at least they didn't have a precedent in presenting before, so they could easily do a direct and find success that way with no problem. And
they could also be like, no, we never planned that, like because it was all it is from rumor. Jason Schreier, so it was probably true.
Oh yeah, he knows his stuff
because that's Nostradamus in the gaming world. But
yep.
But I met him at the what's that thing that we did like 4 years ago?
E3. We went to E3 together.
Well, no, but we did that.
The
Indie Summit or something.
Oh, the Indie Mix.
The Indie Mix.
Yeah. Oh, right. I was with you when you met him.
Yeah, I met.
That's right. Like I was literally with you when you met him. I just was like, oh, okay. But you were. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But yeah. So I guess as far as the news cycle goes, like, are we going to feel this? Like, is E3 going to be missing? Maybe not so much. Which on some level, like, that makes me happy. I mean, one of the things. One of the things I was saying, I think in a recent episode of ours, is like if they cancel E3, like I want them to at least give us some sort of synchronized week of video game coverage to capture the spirit of like the Super Bowl of gaming.
Well, we got a care package full of all the swag we didn't get.
That would be amazing, but there's no way that's going to happen.
I think what's going to happen is that this is the last
the last E3.
Last E3 was the last huge E3 that's going to happen.
I think you're right.
I think that publishers are going to see, hey, we can do this for much, much cheaper. Why would we ever go back?
I think,
unless the ESA throws some incentives to some of these companies, which, man, I do not know.
No, I think you're right.
ESA is not loved nowadays.
The ESA keeps making blunders. But no, I think you're right, because we don't, like... I mean, selfishly, like, if all the companies are like, we'll do our own thing, like, that sucks for me and you guys and people that can get to E3, because, like, on one level, we don't get to play the games in advance in the same way. On the other level, we don't get to, like, check out the overly elaborate booths and brand activations and all that. And, like, to your point, like, when I look at all the things I do in a given year, E3, Comic-Con, one-time visits to, like, PAX East or WonderCon or whatever, GDC this year if it happened, I came to realize that's kind of what I thrive off of, is like going to these things and basically like for some inexplicable reason, I just love when companies are shoving their brands in my face, and then I like that the close quarters of all these brands being shoved in my face, and I can just be aggressively advertised at from booth to booth to booth. Like I thrive on that for some reason. I don't really know why, but yeah, one of the concerns is like if Nintendo's bottom line isn't tremendously hurt by this, why would they go through the effort of building a Luigi's Mansion in their booth with real holograms, or a New Donk City with like a fake like city and giant statues? You know, if they could just throw a demo on the eShop and get broader reach that way, or maybe do a smaller, simpler booth at like a regional PAX. Why wouldn't
you call that Animal Crossing a smaller, simpler booth?
Well, I mean, they may do stuff like that, but that's not. I guess they could still do that, but that one, if you look at the actual size of it compared to their E3 stuff, is it's pretty small. That whole thing was only like one side of it.
Well, like regardless, they'll still do that at other.
Yeah, but it's gonna be scaled down, is what I'm saying.
Sure.
Because like it's funny because Nintendo actually put out a response about the E3 cancellation, and they pretty much said they're looking at other options, which means now they're considering things they never considered. Which who knows what that turns into? They actually said, where's the quote here? Because of the COVID-19 outbreak, large industry events may be untenable for the foreseeable future, but we're considering various ways to engage with our fans and we'll have more to share as the year continues. Meaning, they could stumble on something better for them that isn't necessarily better for us, as long as it does the same goal. It also could mean they find something better for everyone. Maybe they do like an E3 at home. I doubt that very much, but maybe they do.
E3 at home.
They tried that one year with Nindies back in like 2015 or something like that, and the problem with that is, if you have a demo at E3 or even at Comic-Con or PAX or whatever, and the system crashes, no big deal. The booth rep can reboot it. If you have people's systems at home crashing, that doesn't fly. You need to, like, there's a quality level of demos that you send out through the eShop versus demos that you just have on a show floor because you can run them off dev units even, which you can't do at home, obviously.
Yeah, true.
Which is always going to be the roadblock in my mind. As much as I love what Jeff Keighley was doing with the Games Festival during the Game Awards, where he had all those indies do Steam demos, there's always the risk of, if you try and bring that to consoles, even though I really want him to, it's so much more polish required for the various companies. That's why
unless these companies decide to loosen up the rules, like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but I think at the end of the day, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony can't really afford to let games literally crash your system. I guess they could put a huge warning on the screen, but how you tell like the average consumer, like, hey, you're going to try this demo, but like if your Switch freezes for 5 seconds or more, hold down the power button for 10. It's part of the experience.
I feel like it'd be more game crashes, not just total hardware crashes.
I've had stuff lock up at me at E3 before. Like full on, like they had to go get the guy that runs the booth.
Obviously these games would have to run on completed systems, not dev units that they take at E3, but
which means more time up front for polishing from the developers. But yeah, if they're all game, I'm game. That'd be cool. I'd really like that.
I do enjoy watching all these press conferences from home.
Yes, I really like but Directs have sort of captured that vibe and more frequently, except this year. I don't know where the Direct is, but like generally speaking, like Nintendo's able to get that same sort of attention,
yes, but I definitely wouldn't say vibe.
Yeah, that's true. There's no crowd. You're right.
Like, to kind of like bringing it back to something we talked about before, like rewatching the God of War 2018 reveal, like with the crowd cheering, like it definitely feels way different than just watching the trailer, just the video part on its own.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much what you get on Nintendo. It's not like you hear like the suits talking and like also reacting to their own trailers or something.
Right. That's a good point. I do wonder, like, do you guys remember there was a couple years where E3 was the E3 Media something
Summit.
Yeah, Media Summit.
Media and Business Summit.
Yeah, and what they did is they didn't go to the convention center because none of the companies wanted to spend money, apparently. So they rented out like 6 hotels in Santa Monica and just had shuttles. And they had a tiny show floor at the Bob Barker hangar, I think, in Santa Monica. I wonder if maybe they do something like that. I don't mean on that scale. I mean, they don't need to necessarily... They open it to the public, but it's maybe half the size. Do it at a different convention, a smaller convention center around L.A., Pasadena or something, and just have a few games, but scale it down. Basically do a L.A. PAX.
But the thing about that is that you're still introducing the problem of... Did they outright say that it was because of the coronavirus that they're canceling? Yes. So, I mean, if you
no, not this year. Next year. Future.
Oh, next year.
Oh, no. They can't do anything this year.
Yeah,
but I'm wondering if, like... It's like the whole thing. It's a similar situation what's happening with other industries, where like they're paralyzed, by what they have right now, and they can't break that because they don't know what the effect is. But now that the effect isn't there, they can experiment. Because like look at movies, for example. Like the studios. The studios and theaters. They have this elaborate, ridiculous web of a relationship in which movies have to go theaters first. Then there's a home release. Like smaller releases sometimes get a simultaneous release.
Virtual release first and then physical release.
Kind of. And
I know it's kind of weird how that just became the thing.
No, yeah, and they do that now with smaller ones. So some stuff like Netflix and Disney Plus they're getting movies directly, but big blockbusters always go to theaters first because if they don't, there's repercussions. They may not be eligible for awards. The theater may not carry smaller releases from that studio in the future. It's kind of like, well, screw you, back to the company.
I remember reading about that when I was looking at, if I make a short animated film, like I wonder if I could just post it on like online somewhere and then take it to a film festival. But they're very strict about.
Yep.
Yeah, like it better not be anywhere online, anywhere for like a couple years, and then you could show it.
And the flip side,
or I think it's at least a year because we finally saw Hair that won.
Oh yeah.
But that came out, I know, like a long time ago.
Right, and then like the flip side of that is like the studio may not make enough money because home rentals cost less. So if they don't have a theater at their disposal, that's going to hurt them. Like basically, everyone's paralyzed by the fact that this is the system, and if anyone tries to bend any rule, like remember when Netflix tried to like get Academy Award status for some of their movies to be nominated, and the Academy's basically like, we're going to ban all your movies, or you got to play them for like a week in a little theater somewhere. And like, well, guess we're playing it in a theater. And I think that is why the James Bond movie, No Time to Die,
that why Klaus was in theaters for a day or something?
Probably, just so it could get whatever it needs or fulfill every contract. But now we have a situation. But now we have a situation where like all these movies are delayed. Well, the way you hunt, I hunt back.
Oh.
He just gave me the weirdest look. But like the next James Bond movie, No Time to Die, not coming out till November. F9, the next Fast and Furious movie, is delayed a full year. Mulan's
that
delayed.
one really hits me deep.
I'm sure it does.
Hey, after seeing F8, I really wanted to see F9.
And you can in April 2021.
I don't know if you're joking
I can't tell either.
Well, because we saw it and it was just so ridiculous that I just want to see how they could top it.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me go on a tangent here.
Go ahead. This is about
Love?
I've never
Fast and the Furious?
never said this before.
Uh-oh.
Because I just never thought about it. I guess I'm a Fast and Furious fan because I defend those movies more than I absolutely have to. Like, not only that, I get really angry. I was literally talking to my coworker today about this. I hate when people say that the Fast and Furious movies, like, when the trailer comes out and they're like, do you remember when these movies were about racing? They've never been about racing.
They've been about DVD theft.
The first one was literally a Point Break ripoff.
With DVDs.
The second movie was terrible about, like,
Like,
it was
the
like
plot doesn't matter.
It was
It's
like,
just terrible.
but that one was like about Miami drug runners.
Yeah.
The only one that was about racing was Tokyo Drift. Mm-hmm. And then after that, they just became action movies.
Yep. They're superhero movies, but if the superheroes were cars.
Sure.
That's
and
pretty much it.
Stop saying that. I wish that they were racing movies. No, go watch Need for Speed if that's your problem. Okay.
It ends with a Linkin Park song, so I endorse that movie. No one.
I'm sure they... I mean, actually, this is probably not what they mean, but I'm sure they mean, like, before, like, all their squabbles, like, kind of were stuck to, like, a city. But now it's like, oh, now we have to save the world.
They're like super spies. No, the thing I was gonna say is no one really wants it back to racing. The franchise did not. I know there was racing, but no one wants that imaginary back to racing thing. It's like those people that like their band that sounds a certain way, and they're like, they're never gonna go back to that sound. It's like, well, they didn't quite sound the way you think they did.
Wasn't it you and Linkin Park?
No, I'm fine with all their sounds basically.
Ugh.
Which, yeah, but no, the thing I was gonna say is like,
good albums.
but like if I mean they had like I don't even how many albums.
Let me guess.
They had 6 good albums, all of them.
Catalyst and
That's a song.
The first one.
The Catalyst is a song.
Yeah,
Off their fourth album,
Seventh Son?
A Thousand Suns.
which was okay at best.
It's my favorite of theirs. I'm not gonna
Meteora?
lie.
Meteora is their best album.
It's
yeah.
good.
Theory.
Those are the first two in reverse order. Yes. And those are 2 you're endorsing right now, right here on the podcast.
That was their first album?
Hybrid Theory. In the end was on there. Crawling was on there.
I would have thought the first album would just be called Linkin Park or something.
Not everyone does a self-titled to start. You know, funny
Meteora
enough,
is the best.
Hybrid Theory was self-titled indirectly because their original band name was Hybrid Theory until they were told another band had that name. So they pivoted and became Linkin Park, and it's called Linkin Park after the park in San Monica, and it's spelled wrong, Linkin, because LincolnPark.com was copyrighted by the Lincoln Park Zoo, and or not copyrighted, but they own the domain for Chicago's zoo. So Lincoln Park's like, well, what domain can we get? And they spelled it wrong and got it. And now you know.
Now we know facts about a mediocre band.
Whoa, shots fired. But anyway, I love them. Anyway, the point is... See, at least you redeemed yourself there. Point is, all these movies, even Quiet Place 2, like that's supposed to come out this weekend, and it was delayed yesterday.
The same year as Iwata? Because they were
no,
during Comic-Con.
they were 3 years apart, but also both during Comic-Con. It was weird. Comic-Con is basically like, listen, maybe Comic-Con should be canceled this year because it seems like every 2 years or so when I go to Comic-Con, someone I'm a fan of passes away in some weird way. So,
yeah, like I distinctly remember being in line to get back into the bus when we heard about Iwata.
Yeah.
And then we were in Nintendo's booth, or Nintendo's like...
Yep. And I got like 12 texts within a span of 10 seconds.
Yeah, and then people come up to you like, Jason, are you okay?
You know what's funny? I was playing a demo of FIFA on Switch with our friend Eric, and he's like, Jason, you're not going towards the ball. Like apparently I just zoned out because I was like trying to process it because like I've listened to this guy since I was like 12. I met them I'm like a huge fan, so I was just like, what? But yeah, that's a tangent. The point I was trying to make about the movies is...
What were you talking about?
Well, I was saying how like movies are getting canceled and the industry's paralyzed is kind of parallel to how they could actually use that opportunity to like shake up E3 because I don't know what's stopping... I don't think anything's stopping the movie studios at this point for saying, well, no one's really going to theaters. Coronavirus is a problem. So screw it. Let's sell Bond as a $15 rental while everyone's stuck at home. Or if the Academy says, you know what, you don't need a theater run to be eligible this year. Just release it. And then suddenly all the tests of whether a movie needed a theater... They can happen. There's no worry about repercussion because there is no repercussion because there is no movies and are no movies in theaters. So like you can upend an entire industry because of this little pandemic we're going through.
I mean, price prices would have
they
to be
could probably,
adjusted.
honestly, they could probably get away with doing a rental at a higher price. Like, do you want to see Bond now versus waiting a year? Or do you want to see Fast 9 now versus waiting a year? And people will probably be like, well, I'm stuck at home anyway. All the schools are closed. The cities are on lockdown. I guess I'll pay $20 for Fast 9.
That's too cheap compared to what they would have made.
$15 a ticket versus $20? Oh, because you could watch collectively.
Yep.
Good point. Well, they can experiment with this in some way. I don't know, but it seems like maybe
let's say we got the gang right here. Yeah. How many of it?
That's like 7 of us.
7 of us,
$20
right?
for it, yeah.
$20? No way.
What if they did some weird thing where they scan your eyes through the TV and count the number of eyes?
The weird thing is that, I feel like if they were to say
it's the movie system when you were like check it out, like how many people are gonna watch it and be honest.
Well, it's like when you book a hotel and it's like maximum 4, and you're like, oh, that's funny, 8.
We're gonna get 6 other people with us. Yeah. No, but what I'm saying is like the funny thing is like there's 7 of us, right? And let's say Universal says Fast 9 for $100. All of us would be like, no.
Yeah.
Right?
But if you do
even
the
though
math,
you do the math, it'd be like, all right, yeah, that's about it.
I wonder if it would be in their interest. I don't know how they would do this, but they could do like, so I guess it's a little trickier, but at least in terms of the release order of things, like there's probably going to be some coming to video first or on demand first that weren't going to before. Maybe not the blockbusters, but some of the mid-range ones.
Sure.
I could see like A Quiet Place
like
2,
some,
maybe.
like some, no,
that's actually big now, yeah.
Like some A24 movies would probably
or something like that. Yeah. I mean, and you know, the thing is, like, regardless of like how the movies shake out or even what happens with the game industry, I feel like we don't feel it right now, but I feel like if when we look back at coronavirus in a couple of years from now, like when
assuming we survive,
when we look at the only time in history when Disneyland has closed for more than a single day. Previously, they closed for 9/11, JFK's assassination, and the Northridge earthquake in '94, each for only a day. It's the first time they've been closed for weeks. When we look at the time, the entire countries like Italy literally shut down. When we look at every major sports league in America suspending games, and the only fix you could get is playing NBA 2K20 or something like that. Which, actually, tangent, do you hear about that bug in NBA 2K20? So because there were no games... What?
I saw the headline. But.
Yeah, because there were no games being played, the NBA Today mode, which mirrors the real league and kind of makes simulations off that to like progress as a manager or whatever in the game, it would just endlessly try and simulate things that didn't exist to the point that the game spiraled and crashed. So, like, we're going to get a lot of weird bugs like that thanks to this. And I actually kind of, that's the one, like, silver lining of, like...
When you say bug, is like, I feel like I'm getting, like, transported back to work.
Yeah, I know, right? Now that you're... but it's stuff like that's going to be funny. Like servers are gonna get overloaded. Like netcode's gonna get all screwy. Like it's kind of nice that some ISPs like AT&T are already lifting data caps for like the whole influx of
which just shows you
that
how
ridiculous.
Fake. Yeah, data caps.
I know, and apparently the FCC is now mandating it in the time since I wrote these notes. But my point is, what was my broad point? My broad point is like the coronavirus is like a societal moment here. Like when cleanliness and science suddenly became important again, when the virus like hit every facet of our society, like Tom Hanks testing positive, the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, his wife testing positive, that there's even an employee at Nintendo of America who tested positive, which means they're quarantining some folks at Nintendo now. But when
I should have left.
Why did you? I was just tying it back to our podcast.
I'm so sorry.
I'm laughing at you laughing, not there. I hope they're okay. I hope all these people are okay.
Yes.
But when we look at like all this, all the precautions, whatever else is going to unfold from this, I'm sure the story when people listen to this in 2 days is different than us recording it now. It's going to be one of those key moments in society where everything just changed. In the same way 9/11 changed things, there is going to be a pre-corona and a post-corona. And I don't know what form it'll take. I don't know. Like, I don't like that the trigger of such a change is this pandemic that's killing along the way, like growing exponentially and killing along the way. I hope everyone.
I could have sworn that like China, their cases went down. Like
theirs did, but it's growing exponentially in other parts of the world, like here.
So maybe I've never noticed this before, but have airlines always put a September 11 charge on their tickets? Like just like straight up write it that way?
What?
I'm so
what? No, they have not. What is that? Is that like a we're in an emergency, you need to pay us more charge?
Because when I was looking at my brother's like ticket from United, we were just like looking at the total. I mean, like the price came out to like it was fine for what it was, but like one of the charges was like September 11th security fee or something like that.
I've never seen that before.
And I was like, what?
I think that's tied into what's going on. Because there are fewer. Delta
I know like security like wasn't the same after like the 9/11.
Nothing was. Think about all the wars we went into.
No, but like usually you would just expect them just to. If there is a rise in security fees,
call it 9/11.
That.
I suspect.
Okay. Thank you, United, for reminding me.
Especially because they were one of the planes involved. I suspect that. Why'd you laugh? Why is everyone laughing at this?
Because I'm like, I guess that makes sense then.
No, but I suspect
it was
honestly,
an aha laugh.
I suspect honestly they did that because they don't have anything in their system for this, and there's like use the thing we used on 9/11 and just hit the button. But because there are more flights canceled on Delta right now than there were after 9/11, which is insane.
Dude, like it's $117 to go to New Orleans.
I know. Dude, flying right now is amazing if you want to take the risk. Round trip.
Wow.
I almost went to New Orleans this week. The problem is there's all this talk about like a ban entry into California, which isn't gonna. I don't know. But anyway, regardless, like I hope everyone
might be stuck in Utah.
I might be stuck in Arizona. I hope everyone pulls through from this. But there's no doubt to me that like the other side of this bell curve, in every way, we obviously talk about it from a video game perspective, but in every way is going to be different. Like, this is not going to be the same world in a couple months, 6 months, 9 months. Like, a lot of stuff we're used to is going to have changed.
If it all works out, it's going to be a very sanitary world.
Hopefully. My other concern is people will knee-jerk even harder and be like, oh, this was like, I don't know, like all the people that are like anti-science will like double down and be like, this wouldn't have happened if you guys didn't do this, this, and this. And like, it could go one of two ways. I don't know.
I'm kind of afraid that people are going to be so paranoid that they hear someone sneeze or cough, they're just going to immediately like destroy them.
Like literally like destroy them, because then they're touching them, and if they do that, they're going to catch it.
Yeah, well,
unless you mean like from afar with a cannonball.
Well, that's it. They're being irrational.
Well, yeah. I mean, most of the panic right now is irrational. Like the toilet paper thing, they even made fun of it at the White House briefing today. Like the doctors were like, you don't need that much toilet paper, and they all had a hearty laugh while everyone's wilting away from disease.
Everybody was shaking hands.
Yeah, exactly. And
well,
it's
they'll
a
be
mess.
safe in their toilet paper fort. So
yeah, right. But anyway, to go from the high level like OMG, what is happening? We're all gonna die, back to like the micro level of E3, and I realize the whiplash and absurdity of saying that. But bear with me here.
Said OMG.
My thought with all this is like, what if the same thing occurs with E3 as what's going on with everything else in society? Like, there's so much talk, even from just a few episodes ago, that this could be a moment to pivot. And E3 has not had the best luck this year. The ESA, they say they're doing it in 2021, but they don't have PlayStation as of right now. Jeff Keighley's out as of right now. I Am 8-Bit. This one kind of flew under the radar, but they were the indie curator. They dropped out.
They weren't the indie curator. They were going to be the creative directors of E3.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they were going to be the creative directors.
I thought they were just doing creative direction for the indie stuff.
No.
Wow.
They were going to be the creative directors of the entire
until
thing.
they dropped out because they didn't like how it was going. So what I'm hoping is, in the same way that this lets other companies and other industries rethink how they do things, maybe this will be the ESA's like chance to save face and be like, wow, a lot of people don't like what we're doing. Let's back this up. Let's rethink. Let's regroup. We have a year plus now. Let's really think it through.
It's like a blessing in disguise / possible nightmare scenario for them.
Yes.
This will either go one of two ways. Either publishers will just drop out in droves next year, or they really get their stuff together and publishers will want to come back in. Which, like I said, if their bottom line, if the publisher's bottom line is like,
I think there is a PR level to it too, because I think the industry as a whole, I think most industries as a whole are going to be trying to do this. Look, guys, life went on. We're back to normal. Now, a normal might just mean like you can go outside and go high five someone in the street and not be 6 feet away from them. But at some level, I feel like some of those companies are going to be like, we'll do it in 2021 just to like be like, yeah, we're back and stronger than ever. But I don't know, if that's necessarily going to be the case. That's just a wishful thinking thing. I think you're right that the bottom line isn't hurt. That's that. That's the end of it.
Yeah, that's it.
So fingers crossed that A, people still like E3, the companies, and B, we don't all die from coronavirus. And remember, folks, wash your hands. 20 seconds, sing a song. It could be a Linkin Park song. It could be not a Linkin Park song.
So how much of that do you think would like also apply to Comic-Con, or do you think that's like a completely different beast?
I think it's it's the same but different. It's weird because like Comic-Con, it's a similar thing. There are so many movie studios that have been backing out of Comic-Con slowly over the years, and TV's been filling that void. But I think what's a little different is with the games, it's heavily a marketing opportunity to maybe people who haven't played those games yet. So you go and you're like, I want to see the latest games. And then you're like, okay, I'm playing the latest game. And there's like, what's that Xbox? Oh, cool, a new Forza game. I'm going to go play that or whatever. But at Comic-Con, it's more rewarding the fan base that already exists more often than not. Like the panels, like if you've never watched a show, you're not going to that panel unless you're waiting for a different panel. Or the angle of it that is the marketing angle, where movie studios used to go and like, you know, I sat through one panel that was Bumblebee, Venom, and Spider-Man and Into the Spider-Verse. And it was like, oh, I like Phil Lord and Chris Miller. They did, you know, cool stuff. I'll go see the Spider-Man panel, but I was there for all three because they just batched them together. And they were able to promote to me. And even then, like, you know, some people are just like, oh, it's the Marvel panel, I'm just going to go. But those are scaling back. But I think, like, the more fan interactive stuff, where it's rewarding people who are fans and just kind of getting them to double down and spread the word to their friends, that will probably stay. And marketing agencies are still going money off that. And there's a whole, like, trade industry around this. The marketing, the craftsmen that build the booths, like, all that. So I imagine that half of Comic-Con will live on, but maybe the big, like, tentpole studios won't be there. They're already backing out. This is their excuse to fully leave. In the same way E3 is like, well, like, you know, some people go E3, like me, to be like, I'm just going to go bask in Nintendo, but a lot of people are like, I want to go play these new games and see everything there is to offer. So it's like the ratio.
Which realistically, these last couple of years hasn't.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, you're waiting 3 lines for a demo.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and then, like, with Comic-Con, it's like the ratio is different. They both do both of the same things. But the ratio of Comic-Con is more rewarding existing fans by letting them, like, kind of digest more information and more things of the things they've already watched and enjoyed and put money into, while E3 is more of a forward-looking, here's what you want to spend your money on next. So it's a slightly different. To answer your question there, Angel, I think it's a slightly different thing, but there'll be some overlap, if that makes sense. The question is Comic-Con even going to happen?
It doesn't seem like it. But
yeah.
I mean, it's also
first year that I got all 4 days.
Well, here's the thing.
I mean, it's also a couple months out.
Here's the thing. I think E3 had to be canceled as early as it was because they need time to let developers make their demos. Like, everything obviously needs planning, but the thing with the demo is you have to earmark a whole bunch of time to make the demo, polish the demo, put out the demo, make a slice of a game that's maybe separate from the real game. I don't remember who it was, but there's something I played 1 or 2 years ago at E3, and they were like, oh, this is a scenario that's not even in the real game. We made this just for E3. I think you played it with me, actually, Angel. We were playing something that was exclusively E3. Like, it was not a thing in the final game.
Oh, yeah. And that definitely happens a lot.
Yeah, and, like, that requires time. So they had to cancel E3 really. It's the only thing in June that's been canceled across the board with all this craziness right now. And it's because, like, they need to know now if they should invest the time or not. The nice thing is it means less crunch for the developers. Like, the upside of all this for developers is, like, granted they're working from home, so maybe they still have to crunch down the line. But, like, they get a little more flexibility and a little more breathing room.
They have to do to get
exactly
that demo ready for E3.
Yeah. More than one sprint, probably. Like, well, I mean, what's an average game dev sprint? I know at my company with websites, it's a 2-week sprint, so I imagine it'd be like 12, or not 12, but
well, I mean,
like
they
4
have
sprints.
so many so often for a bunch of different things. I'm sure it just gives them, like, I don't know, maybe like a 3-week or 4-week gap they don't have to worry about.
Exactly, which means that's more time to polish the final product and get it out on time.
Yeah.
So, like, for them, it's great. Comic-Con, you obviously have marketing stuff. You have to build the booth. You have to make the videos. But that's way less advanced notice by comparison. I feel like you could, like, that's 2 to 3 months versus 5 to 6 or 4 or whatever. So I imagine Comic-Con, they're going to push very close to when they really need to decide.
So is this what Adult Swim has been doing by doing their own separate event in October? They're like, oh, you can either catch it at Comic-Con or not, or just see everything that you saw there.
A little. So Adult Swim, that one's an interesting one. They were trying to do a music festival first, and then they tacked on the rest to make it worthwhile for Adult Swim fans. So Turner, Warner Media, who owns Turner, who owns Adult Swim, but they were saying to all their brands, you need to have a live element. You need to have some sort of event element. You need to engage with fans in the way that Comic-Con does. And they basically told every network, you got to do it with your brands. That's why Conan all of a sudden started doing, like, live events in the Team Coco House and things like that. Like, he'd do tapings, but he wouldn't, like, host a weekend of comedy at Comic-Con, or like they just did at the NBA All-Star Game last month, because they were basically mandated by higher up.
Comedy.
Haha. No, but, like, no, but the idea is, like, you're not, it's like a holistic view of the brand. It's not just a show you watch on TV, because no one watches TV in the millennial cord cutter world. It's like, well, you go catch a few bits on YouTube, you like what you see, maybe you buy a ticket to a thing, and they'll make money that way. It's basically what bands do. You get the album on Spotify or Apple Music, they're not really making a ton off that. But then you buy the merch, then you go to the show. They were trying to simulate that. Adult Swim Fest, I mean, it didn't exactly work. I don't know if they're going to do it a third time. I know the attendance numbers haven't been the highest they've wanted.
The ticket was also really cheap.
Yeah, this year it was. The first year was normal festival price. The first year Run the Jewels was there. That was cool. But
yeah, Brother Jules was awesome.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, we were both there. But yeah, this year the lineup was, I don't even remember who was on it, but I chose not to even go.
Metalocalypse was there.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was Friday. But Saturday was like, oh no, Young Thug backed out. It was 2 Chainz, huh? Yeah, and some others. But Lil Nas X also backed out, if I remember correctly.
He also did.
Yep. But yeah, so it's a weird time for events in general because I think generally they're going to double down on fan interaction of the existing content and kind of back off so the forward-looking stuff because they realize they don't need it with the internet. But we'll see. But that's E3 getting canceled. Any other thoughts, or should we jump to the next random topic here?
Next random topic.
Okay, let me play the thing. That's like 2 seconds too long. We could talk over it, by the way. And yet no one did.
And we will not.
What is Rob's new show? Rob's new show.
Oh yes. So here's one that you wouldn't expect, but we got to put the random Nintendo. If another wild 2020 thing, would you have guessed that It's Always Sunny cast? I mean, only Rob's in it, but multiple people of the cast are involved in the creation of a video game dev themed show for Apple TV Plus.
Nope.
Everything about that sentence is weird.
Charlie Day's the creator, the co-creator.
Huh.
It's the guy that plays Rob, whose name I'm forgetting.
Rob
McElhenney? No, you're Mac.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I got backwards. Yeah, Mac. The guy who plays Mac and Charlie. And then I think Mac or Rob's wife is also involved in this one as a producer. I think I saw her name on credits. And also it's written by Megan Gantz of Community. And then she went from Community to... It's on the tip of my tongue.
I think she did some Modern Family stuff. But
yeah, that's what it was. Modern Family. Anyway, so it has quite the pedigree behind it. Very funny shows. They have
Community, some well-known actors.
Sunny, they got well-known actors.
Danny Pudi from Community. Ashley Birch.
That's why he's in it, because she did it. That makes sense.
Ashley Birch is one of the most famous voice actors right now.
And a direct connection to the gaming world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we watched it because we're like, oh, cool. A video game. I imagined it would be like Silicon Valley, but video games.
Right.
And there's some elements that are similar, but I'm going to let you, Kevin, you wanted to bring this one up, so why don't you tell us your thoughts?
What do you mean I want to bring this one up?
You suggested we talk about it, which
I just
is
said,
good.
Should we talk about it?
And we're like, yes, because you brought it up. So no, what are your thoughts on it? Because I feel like you had the most visceral reaction as we were watching. So.
I thought it was how do I put this?
I feel like the first episode was okay, and the second one was like, oh god.
At best, and we only saw 2 episodes.
Could get better.
The third episode started, and we're like, no, we're not doing this.
This is true.
So, for me personally, I thought the best that it was mediocre. That first episode, we chuckled twice.
There were 1 or 2 things where we maybe guffawed.
Sure. and then that second episode, oh man, that second episode was bad. And yeah, for all we know, it got better, but
you know the thing that drove me crazy about it? So first, it is how accurate is it? I mean, obviously it's satirical.
Well, should we bring up what it is first?
Oh yeah, that's true. So you go for it.
I guess I'll do it. So Mythic Quest in this world, Mythic Quest is like a huge MMO, and there a brand new expansion's coming out that's called Raven's Banquet, and Rob McElhenney's character is the creative director, I think, for the expansion. I don't remember.
Well, of the whole game.
Yeah, for the whole game. He created the game, and he's the creative director, so everything runs through.
And he's really pompous. He's really full of himself. There's the lead designer. I forget her name. The girl with glasses.
Yeah.
Apparently, this really big game just has one lead designer.
Yeah.
But
it's called television.
And then Cricket from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
Who is he?
He's the biz dev guy.
He's a producer.
He's a producer in biz dev, so he's the one trying to... Or no, he's not biz dev. He's just a producer.
Yeah, he just funds everything.
Biz dev is Danny Pudi's character who's trying to shove monetization in, which, let me tell you, as someone that deals with that in the internet world, that's always the worst.
Yeah, and then Danny Pudi's character is trying to, essentially pay for... Not pay, it's not best. What's his name? He had a specific... It wasn't
creative money-making director. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
No, but he's basically
he's the guy in charge of the microtransactions in the game. And then there's a lore master played by this. I don't know who the guy is, but there's this old fantasy writer that they have for the lore master for Raven's Banquet.
Pretty much writes all the backstories.
Yeah, writes all the backstories, and it's completely ridiculous. And the name of the show, for some reason, is Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet. Like, why?
And yet all the footage of the game is just For Honor assets reused.
It's so, and Ubisoft, provided a lot of the actual like game stuff,
which retroactively explains that really weird moment at their E3 conference last year where they just out of nowhere promoted the game and said like, stay tuned, but didn't explain why they were doing that.
Yeah. And so like the transitions are...
I hate those.
Are... Like, one of them was like, okay, that one's Assassin's Creed. Like, one of the characters jumping into, like, a
haystack.
A haystack.
Yeah.
There's a couple, like, For Honor stuff on there. There's some, like, really low-res gameplay clips in that. Whatever, man.
To be fair...
That's how blasé I am about this show.
To be fair, they do use right terminology when talking about this stuff.
Sure. So I guess they're accurate in that way.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, like, to be fair, it's not like it's like...
Oh, and I forgot the two lesbian... QA testers.
Who they're, for some reason...
Or bisexual, I don't know.
And they're for some reason trying to get them in a relationship. Like, and, like, it's really, like... They're trying to get them in a relationship, and it's really, like, the first episode, it's, like, super heavy-handed, and it keeps getting heavy-handed.
Yeah.
And then, like, the second episode, they're, like, spending the night there, and they're like, oh, no one's here, we can run amok, and they're doing stupid things. Like, why would you not just, like, go home? Like, why are you spending the night there? If you finish your QAing, go home. Or, like...
No one would ever do that.
Okay, so that's the basic premise. That's the basic premise of the show. Now let's...
Yeah, so as someone that's in a studio that does these things...
I mean, you think for, like, how big they say that game is?
Yeah.
Like, to me, you know, since I work at a studio, it just looks like what someone that's never been in a studio thinks a studio looks like.
Now, do you think part of the reason it has that is because they need to keep it small because you can't have a cast of thousands?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of feels like it's somewhere between, like, Grandma's Boy and, I guess, real life. Maybe closer to Grandma's Boy. Were they in the basement?
They were.
No, Grandma's Boy, that one takes place, like, in a studio.
Oh, okay.
The main character...
No, like, Grandma's Boy, the studio is actually somewhat legit looking. It's like a multi-conference room.
No, but the way it's run is like way more fantasy. But
yeah,
because I mean, in the game studio, like, you have a bunch of different, like, you could almost make, like, the whole cast that we see could pretty much just comprise just the QA department.
Right.
So, like, I don't know, I feel like it kind of loses a little in that aspect.
I mean, a lot of people don't know that, though.
No, I know, but, well, I don't know, like, even just, like, watching it, like, only 2 QA people, like, they're just, I don't know.
It's a little... there's a suspension of disbelief you have to have. But I do think it's weird that the entire show is shot in about 3 rooms. And all those rooms had the weirdest bloom lighting effects on them. Like
I still don't know what you were talking about there. You had an issue with the lighting.
There is a glow.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We were all going like, what are you talking about?
Listen, it bothered me, and it bothers me enough that
like,
of all things I remember from the show, I didn't remember any of the parents. I didn't remember anyone's names, but I remember the bloom lighting.
I don't remember.
You know, like
some of the lines
bloom lighting
I thought were pretty funny.
No, they have a couple good lines. Like, and the nice thing is, it's written in a way where it's not mocking games. It's aware of game culture, and it's addressing things from game culture, like monetization in games.
That streamer kid.
He sucks.
Oh, that part.
Like the first time he came out, I thought it was funny. I thought it was gonna be just like a one-time joke, but then he also became like their exposition dumper. He somehow became a news reporter.
So do you want to explain, Kevin? You have such a way with words.
Sure.
Would you like to explain this to our audience?
So they lampoon,
basically PewDiePie. But
PewDiePie, Twitch streamers, and I guess just gaming YouTube personalities all in one.
Yeah.
And this like 13-year-old kid, I don't know how old he is. His name is Pootie Shoe. And there's like,
how'd you remember that?
Because I hate it so much. That's why. And there were parts where we were like, wait, was this kid streaming or is this a YouTube video? Like they couldn't get that part right. Like, we were just confused the entire time.
To elaborate, they had a live chat window on top of his video, and he was interacting with the audience. And then the chat ended, or like then he's like, "I'll see you next time," and it cut to what happens when you finish a YouTube video, where it's like, "Watch these other related videos," and had like an outro, and it's like, wait. But it had like a player that looked like YouTube. It's like, wait, but he was live.
That's kind of the thing, though. People can like create like outros and stuff.
Let's back on this. Let's back on this.
But the video, but it was a video, and it had like click here to
it had like
to
a
the next video.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, anyways, they sort. I guess it makes sense in this day and age. Oh yeah, let's poke fun at like.
Yeah,
at like Twitch streamers,
but he's too big of a character.
He's too big of a character. Not only that, but like they make it seem like this kid's Jesus. Like,
yeah,
it's like your game's popularity will
literally
is all
success,
dictated on this kid.
I mean, I hate to say it, if Ninja and the like didn't do the Fortnite stuff, and if celebrities didn't hop on those streams, would Fortnite have blown up to the extent it did as fast as it did? I mean, so if you're looking for a quick buck as a biz dev guy,
the thing about that,
you kind of want that.
But the thing about that is like it's so overly exaggerated.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Because like the most viewers that Ninja ever got was like 200,000, and that's when he was playing with like Drake. And Juju Smith or
so the thing about that, you're
and
right.
then this kid is supposedly getting like millions of viewers at the same time for.
Yeah, no. To that point, you're right. The
almost
thing,
any Nintendo game, like not a lot of them are like huge streaming successes like Minecraft and Five Nights at Freddy's were, and yet they're still selling like gangbusters.
Yeah, no, I think they needed to figure. They needed a bad guy. He's the bad guy.
The idea,
He's the bad guy.
But he also doesn't even really feel like a bad guy. He just feels like.
No, not him, but his decisions.
Oh.
They needed they needed a foil to everything, and your game, I determine your game's success is basically that. And I think what they were doing, and they didn't do a good job clearly, is I think what they were doing is saying the influence of this kid. Not so much like the rating, but like, you're right, 200,000 people watch Drake, but Fortnite was on every news site when that happened. It was everywhere. So I think they're trying to say that kid is that, but you can't. We're really overanalyzing a silly sitcom, but I think, like, honestly, I think that was what they were angling for, but they handled it poorly.
Even when he was supposed to be a foil, like, they never made him sound like his decisions were his own. Because, like, when the whole shovel thing, like, they knew exactly, like, they already knew what was going to be successful. The foil, if anything, was just the lead designer who wanted to design it herself, but then they're like, no, do it this way.
Spoilers for the second episode of a show. I don't think anyone's going to watch.
If you do it this way, like, they're going to hate it, and obviously she does it that way, and everyone hates it, and then, they go back to some other designer.
I think the bummer about it is...
I mean, he was almost just like a plot progressor at that point.
Okay, no, go for the bummer.
I think the bummer about the show for me is, like I was saying before, they nailed the, like, topics. Like, it is game stuff that's not mocking gamers or the gaming industry in a way that's, like, aggressively, like, we're on the outside looking in.
Sure.
Like, that's nice. And they have good talent behind it, and they have a good cast, but they just squandered all of it by not quite getting the puzzle pieces correctly, like, together. Like, they have all the elements, they couldn't get them to, like, coalesce or whatever the word is, together to, like, actually become, like, you know what I mean? It's like they lined it up wrong.
Yeah, this might get me branded as an SJW or whatever, but one thing that I found completely inconsistent was that lead designer character.
The woman?
The woman, yeah. So, she's playing the straight man of the show. And, like, you're like, okay, she just wants to be known and stuff like that. In the second episode, she calls Cricket a soy boy beta cuck.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, I've only spent one episode with this character, but I feel like I understand. But, like, she went from...
They completely changed her character.
Like, right? Like, she became such a dick in the second episode.
And I get that some of that is, again, because they do, on some level, get the gaming community. There is that subset, unfortunately, of gamers who say that stuff when they're trash talking, and I think they're trying to. I see what they're trying to do, but not her character. That didn't make sense.
Like, it would have made sense for Rob's character, or maybe even Danny Putty's character, but like not for her, it was like you're this. It was like
they have, like I said, they have all the right pieces. They just couldn't quite put the puzzle together, and that's what's kind of unfortunate because it has potential. All the things are there. They're just not quite right.
The execution,
like she shouldn't say it. Someone else should say it.
Yeah, someone else.
But the joke works because there is like the 4chan audience of gamers that for sure say stuff like that in normal conversation as if it's not a weird thing to say.
Yeah,
unfortunately. So I don't know. It's a very weird. In a way, I hope it has enough of an audience that it gets a second season.
It already has a second season. They halted production.
Because of Corona. But see, every topic today is going to tie into Corona in some way. But no, I hope they figure it out. Maybe it's just growing pains.
And for all we know, they did in like episode 8, but as far as like, I just don't care.
And that's the problem. Is like you got to start strong. You got to start strong or have a interesting enough of a. If you're gonna not be strong, you got to have enough of a hook. And the problem is, it's basically Silicon Valley. It's a workplace comedy set in. It's not even Silicon Valley. It's a workplace. It's The Office, but a game dev studio.
Sure. Yeah. Exactly.
Essentially. So to the point that literally there's 2 sets.
Yeah.
So,
like Silicon Valley, I think did it right. Silicon Valley,
I love Silicon Valley. I even thought a lot of people aren't happy. Well, I'm not gonna spoil it, but a lot of people didn't like the ending. But I thought it made total sense for the life cycle of a company up there. But I won't say anything more than that. Those who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. But anyway,
wow.
Yeah, was there anything else we want to say about Mythic Quest, or do we go to our final randomization? Because I think we're going to two topics.
Definitely didn't help that. I mean,
yeah.
I love Always Sunny in Philadelphia, so like my expectations were high.
It's interesting because
I love that show and I love video games.
Sunny is such an anomaly if you think about it. They've been on for like 14 years, 15 years, and yet they aren't. It's not significantly like, you know, a lot of shows like the characters become super characterizations of themselves. Yeah, and they they start like kind of running on fumes.
Yeah, like the Office around season 6, it was like, oh man.
Yeah, or like I'm trying to think. There's another example that's escaping me, but somehow Sunny has dodged that. Maybe because it was so absurdist to begin with, you can't make it more absurd.
The funny thing
how
is
did they not run out of ideas?
The funny thing is that shows like the characters like they pretend to go on arcs. It's like, oh, like this character is finally learning to like be more selfless and care about others. But like it's kind of like a cartoon. Like everything just resets itself.
But even like the Simpsons,
because there's no character growth. That's what
it's like. Yeah.
If anything, there's like the opposite of character growth for the characters around them. That's the only way
the Simpsons
that
are the same, and that's running. Well, granted, it's been around for twice as long, so I'll hold.
The only thing that changes is just like anyone that the characters interact with just become worse. Like just look at Cricket. He went from being a priest to like the resident crackhead.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's the secret. Also, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That checks out. But maybe that's what it is. You might be right. It might be because they treat this. It's very much like what Community was trying to do, where everyone's just like, isn't it? I mean, there's some growth with the main character, like the Dean, which is this absurdist character that was just there. Like it's like Sunny is just the Dean, but everyone's the Dean.
Yeah, because like they're like the characters in that show, at least the main character, they're like the worst kind of people.
Yeah,
like every single one of them is just one of those kinds of people. But somehow,
I forgot about the assistant character. I just remember the assistant character.
The assistant that's a bad April Ludgate impersonation from Parks.
Oh yeah,
right.
When you straight up, I thought about the therapist, but that's a different character.
The HR.
Oh yeah,
that joke I think was okay. Where like she was telling everybody, "I am not your therapist. I'm just HR." That was okay.
Yeah. There's good ideas. But no, the assistant of what's his character's name? Rob's character's name.
No, so it's Cricket's assistant, but she loves Rob,
and so she joined.
And that's the joke.
But but she also like has all these weird offhand dark comments, and she's basically April from Parks and Rec, but she's blonde.
She's not.
It's very strange.
I wouldn't even say she's April. She's just
worse than April.
Yeah, worse.
I like April in Parks. I like everything about Parks. Parks is the best. Anyway, any other thoughts on Mythic Quest before we do one more roll of the thingy?
I thought Andy's character in the first season was pretty intolerable.
Oh, well, he was designed that way.
Yeah, but
it was developed that way.
He was supposed to be that way.
I mean,
because he was only supposed to be.
He's supposed to be this like. We're talking about Parks, right? Just making sure. Okay, for listeners at home, we're talking about Parks. Yeah, he was supposed to be.
He was just a special guest for the first season. Like, if you look at the opening, it says special guest.
He was supposed to be like this annoying, like parasite, essentially, that just was like a thorn in everyone's side. He wasn't supposed to become a real thing, but then they realized there's some chemistry there with like maybe what if him and April and that, and then they made him a real cast member when they made the show better from season 2 on. Because season 1's Season 1 was trying hard to be The Office while not being The Office. Season 2 is where it found its own like soul, so to speak, and ran with it. In my opinion, just throwing it out there. Any other thoughts before I hit randomize one more time?
I'm afraid to say anything else. No, you go.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So there's 2 options left. Let's see what it's going to be. Last time we're going to roll this guy. This is a really long time.
Mario Kart Tour.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. I don't want to.
All right. Mario Kart Tour. So, yeah, it's back. I mean, it never left, but it's back in our lives, at least briefly. Because
that reminds me. I forgot to delete it.
Well, that's his impressions of Mario Kart Tour. But the reason we're bringing it up is Mario Kart Tour, they released 8 months in, as I was saying at the top of the show, the multiplayer mode.
And there it goes.
And goodbye, Mario Kart Tour. And, so Angel and I tried it. Kevin, I don't know if you've played.
I'm never touching that game ever again.
Okay, so, well...
Oh, you know what? They do have that Detective Baby Rosalina.
Okay, yeah, can we talk about that? Before we even get into the game, the one good thing that you should play Mario Kart Tour for is the absurd new riffs on characters they're doing, and I hope some of them spill over into other games. I made a list. I went through and made a list of every single one. I'm just going to read it, and you're going to think it keeps going on forever, and it does, and then some. So here we go. They have Musician Mario, Mario and Peach in special kimono and Hakama outfits, Halloween Rosalina, Pastry Chef Shy Guy, that's a cool one, Vacation Outfit Peach, Santa Mario, Bus Driver Waluigi, Holiday Cheer Daisy, Party Time Rosalina and Reindeer Yoshi in the same tour, Happy, as in like I, as in the Japanese word, Outfit Mario, and Party Time Toad, Wintertime Peach, Baby Cherub Peach, Aurora Rosalina, Hiker Wario, and the best of the bunch, Detective Baby Rosalina, who puts her magnifying glass not on her one exposed eye, but on top of her bangs that are blocking her other eye, because I guess you don't really need to see through the magnifying glass, you just need it for show. And I mean, like, if Pink Gold Peach, or whatever she was called, became a real thing in real Mario Kart, they damn well better put Bus Driver Waluigi in a real Mario Kart. Or Detective Baby Rosalina, or any of those.
I doubt that they would put those, but, like, skins are always an option.
Yeah,
like
in any capacity. Well, I mean, Baby Pink Gold Peach. God, that name. Or is it Gold Pink Peach? That's a character, right?
It's
Metal,
Gold
metallic.
Rose. It's Gold Rose Peach. Yeah, right?
She is a separate character entirely in Mario Kart, like normal Mario Kart. So, like, I
know, in addition to Metal Mario and Gold Metal and Gold Mario.
And now they have, like, dozens more. So I'm just saying,
it's like, why can't they just be alternate skins like the Yoshis? But no, because they weigh differently.
Right, so as a result, and these guys all have different stats. So, like, get ready. Mario Kart 9, when it comes out, is just going to be 500 characters, but really only 30. That's my theory. But
no, I absolutely think that those would be incorporated as skins.
I hope so, like Smash Bros. Style.
Yeah.
It's not...
Even Smash Bros. Already does skins. They're annoying me.
Yeah, that too.
I don't know what's going on with these mobile games. Like, Nintendo's just throwing all their ideas against the wall. Because Dr. Mario World, they have a similar thing. Every doctor now exists. There's Dr. Drybone Bowser. There's Dr. Fire Mario. Like, I don't understand. It's just Mario with fire powers, but he's separate because they can obviously get the stats. I will say, though, actually, if anyone wants to get back into Dr. Mario World and try out Dr. Fire Mario, Nintendo Online just did something good. I think for the first time since the game came out a year ago, they actually figured out how to ban cheaters. Apparently, a bunch of people were modding the game to just like insta win when you play online, and now that's fixed. So if anyone out there likes Dr. Mario, especially in this time when we should be fighting viruses, go back. It's actually fair now. But anyway, we're here to talk about Mario Kart Tour, not Dr. Mario. So Angel and I tried Mario Kart Tour. I did not play as Detective Baby Rosalina, sadly. But Angel, what do you think? You have put more time into it up front than I did overall. So what's your take as someone who played it for a while and then dropped it and then came back briefly? I know you deleted it again,
and
but
then
like
dropped it again.
Yeah,
I saw no difference at all.
Really?
Yeah, the way, because you have to realize, like, Mario Kart Tour, like, even though you can get good at the game and like there is some like learning curve to the controls, once you get used to
here,
his chair's just his chair's out. His chair's like, you know what? I shouldn't have this close of contact with humans. 6 feet apart, social separation, or whatever it's called.
Try the movie.
Go ahead.
But in spite of like how good you get at the game, the track design is so simplistic that it pretty much limits what you can really do outside of, I guess, just drifting at the right time. Which honestly, like the range is so wide, it kind of doesn't really matter. It pretty much just comes down to what items you get, which kind of comes down to what track you get, which comes down to what characters you happen to have. So whether you're playing with computers or with real people, it literally doesn't make a difference. If you're playing well, the items will either screw you over or you'll win. So yeah, when I was playing like with a group of people, I did like maybe 5 or 6 races with like a group of 6, 4, 3, and even a 1v1. It really didn't feel any different from playing with computers. Playing against you felt like I was just playing a time trial. So
to be fair, I also was very far behind you. Guys, those controls, like, they've gotten better. When the game first came out, it was not to those controls at all. Once they allowed the toggle for manual drifting, I got a little better with it.
I mean, if there was any latency, I didn't notice it, so I guess that's a plus.
That's what I was about to say. Is I think it's fun because, like, it's almost like we have the same point, which is the underlying, and this is, I think, Kevin, your point, I'm never touching that again, the underlying core structure of the game, or core gameplay, is still, it's still, like, some people love it, apparently, but it's just not, it is not clicking with me, and I feel like it didn't necessarily click with you guys based on everything, but what they're doing on top of it with multiplayer, like, what they implemented is actually, like, kind of nice. Like, it feels like a fully fledged thing. I mean, first of all, they kept the little toads floating around in space when you're on the online lobby screens, which is the best. But in all seriousness, like, what they did is kind of nice. Like, you can play locally. So, like, me and him could be sitting next to each other here on our iPhones, and we can immediately, you know, he can create a lobby and I'm right in. And it doesn't really, try and figure out is it through the internet or whatever. It just does it, and it just works. And there's no, like, connecting to your friend or put your iPhones together or pair them or anything like that. It just works, which is nice and kind of un-Nintendo-esque. And then, like, the actual modes they have are kind of nice, too. There are 3 different modes. The Friends one is the one I just mentioned. Then there are standard races, where you play against anyone. And those change pretty frequently. That's the other thing I think is kind of cool about it, is they actually rotate what's going on in these races frequently to keep you playing. So standard, it's weirdly 100cc. I don't know why. But the item slot change, like the rules around the item slot change twice a day. So half the day you have like normal item slots. For the other half, you have 2 item slots instead of the normal setup. And, they kind of are giving you some variety to come back. But what's neat, I think, is then they have this gold race thing. What sucks about it is it's part of the gold pass, meaning you have to pay to use it. But that does weed out people. So, like, if there's a huge influx of people coming back to Mario Kart Tour to try multiplayer, as I think Nintendo's anticipating, they literally tweeted when this came out from the Mario Kart account, hey, did you set it up with a My Nintendo account? Good news. If you deleted the app, all your data is still here. Come on back. Not quite in those words, but that's what they were saying. So there's going to be a huge influx of people that don't know what they're doing, like myself. And it is nice that Nintendo and, I guess, DNA or whoever helped make it had the foresight to go, well, there's some real dedicated players that play this every day and are going to get frustrated by that. So, like, why don't we do this gold race setup? It's for the people that really play. It's part of the paid thing, but it's faster. It's 150cc half the time. The other half of the time it's 200cc. The rules rotate double speed, so 4 times a day instead of 2. Each speed has a different item slot rule. So, like, they're trying to give it some variety and make it better for people that are already engaged while also trying to onboard new people. As someone that deals with that sort of onboarding stuff with sites at work, like, I get it, and I think that's a really good way to kind of balance both audiences. So, like, again, the idea behind it's good. It's just the core game is still what it is. I will say, though, going back and playing it, the controls were not as frustrating as I remembered. I mean, they were better in November when I last talked about it on the show, but I don't know if I'm going to necessarily be hooked on it, but I don't see myself never touching it again. I'm not deleting it. So I guess that's a win for Nintendo. I don't really know. But what I really want is just Bus Driver Waluigi and Detective Baby Rosalina.
I really like Bus Driver Waluigi.
What? It's just he looks so stupid. I mean, he does look stupid, but he's dressed like a British gentleman. So he's brown and beige outfit. He has like a little plaid shirt on, no hat. He's supposed to be like a double-decker bus driver. Yeah. He just looks ridiculous. In the same way that Detective Baby Rosalina is ridiculous, because one, that's too many descriptors on her. And 2, like, her magnifying glass is on the wrong eye. Like, everything about it is just absurd. Hiker Wario isn't bad either. He has a little backpack. But the thing is, Wario never hikes. So, I don't know if that's bad. It's the same way that, like, I was at Walgreens the other day looking for hand sanitizer. Because, like I said, everything we're going to talk about is going to tie into coronavirus in some way. And I glanced at the toy section. They had a Jakks Pacific exclusive Gold Wario $5 figurine. Gold Wario is not a thing. So I was like, what is this? And then I look closer. It's not just gold. It's like rusted gold. It's basically like there's some crazy canon for Wario.
It's as if you don't play Nintendo games. That's
what?
So
What's
sad.
he? What? Where?
We actually have that gold
rusted?
Wario in the room over there somewhere.
The same one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Wait, what is that from? Rusted Gold Wario.
It's from Wario World.
It turns to rust?
No, it's a golden statue that you build as you play the game.
Oh, well, that's disappointing, because I like to think Jakks made up a whole made-up canon that, like, a Midas touch situation where it got too greedy, and then he turned to this gold, and it was so long ago that he's rusted. But I guess it's in Wario World.
Yeah. Did you play that game?
I own that game.
So, no, he didn't.
I played it a little, but not enough, clearly.
It's like
also, it was like 2002, so, like...
It's really hard to forget the statue, only because, like, when you press pause, it's like literally the biggest thing you see on the pause menu, and it's rotating.
You sure about this?
As you're building it up, but then he's also like taunting you the whole time, going na 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 na.
I remember the taunt, actually.
Yeah,
I'm looking this up, looking up images. It's a good thing I had the internet here.
Yep.
Oh no! This is different. You're talking about this, right? Sorry, I'm knocking the mic. Talk about this, right? Yeah. So the one you're describing is a solid gold, actually quite nice and brushed gold statue of Wario. The one I bought at Jakks, which I don't know if it's the one you have in the room, because I thought it was so weird. And I was like, this is not canon. The one I bought at Walgreens for Jakks is like decrepit. It's like what the Statue of Liberty looks like before it's cleaned, if it didn't oxidize. So if it was like a bronze version of that kind of gritty metal. He looks like that, and that's what threw me off more than anything else.
He likes gold, so they just made a gold variant of him.
But why is he rusted? Why is he like decrepit? Like, what's that about? No, mine does. It's like they made it look like it's like old rusted gold. I mean, like it's like has splotches and stuff.
I mean, I guess like Kevin and I could talk here while you go look for it in the room, just because
I'm pulling up a picture of it.
The description just makes it sound.
I'm pulling up a picture of it.
Like it was like some golden statue that was found under the ocean or something. That's
what I'm saying. It looks like there was some sort of secret Atlantis of Wario. I'm going to eBay for it.
Wow. You
See?
found it?
Look at the texture on it. It's like a different shade, and it looks all like brushed, like rusted, and I could bring it over sometime. Huh. It's different. That's my whole point.
He has it. Bring it over.
Have this?
Bring it over. We'll vamp.
It is the same one, but it doesn't look that rusted.
Weird. This is great podcast content. Everyone listen to us look at things. But he's going to go get it.
That's like half the episodes.
I know, but more so this one, I feel like. But anyway, while he does that, is there any other... I guess there's not much else on Mario Kart Tour, but I will say, while we're on the topic of multiplayer things... while we're on the topic of multiplayer things, there's a lot of good multiplayer...
Packaging is way nicer, though.
This is nicer than... Oh, yeah, it is totally rusted. It's the same.
Doesn't look good.
Wait, why is yours called Trophy Series? Oh, that's why. The Trophy Series. He's supposed to be a trophy. And trophy, like... That makes sense. He's like an old statue trophy.
Yeah, I mean...
But how come my packaging's in a normal one and then just says exclusive to Walgreens?
This one looks nicer.
Yours looks much nicer than mine. I feel like I wasted my $4.99.
This reminds me of the Burger King Dragon Ball Z figures.
I cannot relate to this.
And they were all gray. They had the same, I guess, brushed look. But the Goku one was gold because the Super Saiyan Goku was gold.
Because he's Super Saiyan.
Because he's Super
Saiyan. Makes sense.
And me and my cousin buried all of ours in his backyard.
Wait, what? You can't just casually say that.
And for some reason,
like
maybe
treasure?
10 years later, we try to bury them back up. They were gone. We do not know.
Did you have a dog in that time?
No. We do not know if they were biodegradable, but...
Burger King does. Well, what's reassuring? What's reassuring is Burger King's biodegradable. I don't know about McDonald's or Twinkies, but at least Burger King's biodegradable. But yeah, I was gonna say, since we are talking about multiplayer stuff, kind of interesting. A lot of games are starting to there's big good multiplayer improvements all around. Pokemon Go has an esport league now. They're calling it the Battle League, and I do recognize that. I think I remember from commercials. It's part of Big Kids Meal commercials, right?
Yeah.
But Pokemon Go has a Battle League now. Or in their midst of launching it.
Kidding.
What? No, but it's kind of cool because they finally are doing online multiplayer in Pokemon Go with anyone you want, not just your friend that you've become a super friend with or whatever. You can actually just hop in, and they've revamped the battle system.
Is that the whole coronavirus related thing where now you don't even have to walk to get your...
So no. So here's what's funny. They rolled that out, and they were like, okay, guys, here's how it works. We still want you to walk. Exercise is always part of Pokemon Go. So what you're going to do is you're going to walk. And if you walk 3 kilometers, you get 5 chances to do a Battle League game of the day. If you don't walk, you only get 2. So we give you 3 bonus. And then 2 days later, they're like, so coronavirus, you probably shouldn't walk. So they're actually doing, they're calling it, they're prioritizing updates and they're prioritizing updates to Pokemon Go features and experiences that can be enjoyed in individual settings.
I really hope they say for 1 hour, any Pokemon from all over the world can be found in your room.
That's almost what they're doing. The game will be increasing habitats so that trainers can see more monsters nearby while playing close to home. So what that translates to is a lot of stuff. Eggs are gonna hatch twice as fast. Incense packs, which normally cost a good amount and last 30 minutes, are 99% off. And now last an hour, meaning you just stock up on them and sit at home and get all sorts of Pokemon. Because the incense packs actually do bring in Pokemon you don't normally see. So you're right. And they're also going to have Pokestops drop gifts much more frequently. And all these changes go into effect right now. And they're going to stay this way until they decide that we're safe from coronavirus. But it goes to show you, if nothing else, 1, it's cool they're doing multiplayer like Mario Kart is. It's a little late like Mario Kart is. But 2, it goes to show you just how coronavirus is seeping into everything. Even things you wouldn't expect. Pokemon Go, where I just walk around my neighborhood. Nope, you're not walking anymore. What if you walk past someone? So here we are, the times we live in. There is one other multiplayer game worth highlighting, though, as well, and just kind of a PSA. We talked about it last year, but Killer Queen Black. I feel like, Angel, correct me if I'm wrong, it's become our group's like go-to multiplayer game.
Yeah, besides Towerfall.
And I feel like when we first talked about it in October...
Well, Towerfall is our talk crap at each other game.
Yeah, yeah. But when we talked about Killer Queen Black last October or something like that, at the time we were it was a few weeks in, and there's some weird technical things where, like, if you wanted to play 8 people, you needed 2 switches, and you had to, like, sync up the switches. They've patched that since. You just need 1 switch. It's a little confusing how you get 8 people going. You have to, like, press a button and cross your fingers and hope that, like, the Killer Queen Black god's like, yes, today I will let you play with 8. But when it works great. And it's become... I remember at the time, Angel, I think you were saying, like, you don't see it being necessarily a big hit with most people because you have to have strategy or something. Or, like, you don't necessarily learn the strategy. But I feel like it's really come into its own. Maybe just in our group because we all learned it. But, like, right, it's kind of like it's, like, really, really fun.
It is.
Yeah, so the key reason I'm bringing it up, besides the fact that they fixed these bugs, it has permanently gotten a price drop to only $10. It used to be $20. So basically, this is a friendly, quick PSA of go buy Killer Queen Black if you don't yet have it, and you do have enough friends to play it because it's really, really fun. It's probably one of the best multiplayer experiences.
Also, they definitely needed to do that because it's really hard to find people to play against online.
That's a bummer.
Every time, the few times we have tried to play it online, we always run into the same, like, 2 people.
Okay, that's what you meant.
We keep, like, we'll find someone, and then we'll play them, we'll leave them, try to, like, match up again. Keep getting the same person, like, every time. And, like, maybe, like, one time we got, like, someone else.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like part of that is because, tie that with the fact that they dropped the price by half. I have a feeling the game didn't perform as well as they were hoping. But it deserves some love, and it deserves having more people to play online, so that's really the only reason I brought it up. It's just like, because
they really need to push, like, a little league or, like, some kind of, like, online tournament.
They do with the arcade version, interestingly enough, like at actual barcades and stuff.
They should try to host online tourneys
at the bar. I guess, is it a barcade? At the little restaurant connected to the stadium that I work at, there's 2 Killer Queen machines set up there. I guess it was just one.
But the 2 sides.
It's 2 sides, yeah.
I didn't know you had Killer Queen at your stadium arcade
didn't
thing.
You go?
I did not.
Oh, you didn't go with these guys. That's
no,
right.
I was in
They went up to
that.
that.
You weren't there?
On my birthday weekend when I was stuck at work in Nashville? No.
No, yeah. When
everyone celebrated
when Nigel was here.
That was so fun.
Our friend Nigel.
You really should have been there.
I would have if I wasn't at work.
Who was it that?
Victor,
Nigel, and somebody else. Was it Eric?
Me and Fabian.
Oh, it was Fabian. That's right. Yeah.
Shout out to all those people.
You got to go too.
No, I didn't. Oh, I did separately. Yeah. You're right. Thank you. Yes, you did hook that up. Thank you. And that was fun too. Especially when you spied on us through the security camera.
I knew where you guys were.
He sends me a text of me and it was Gilbert. Me and Gilbert sitting like way up in the stands, just really zoomed in. Like it was as if you're just standing in front of us. It was really weird. But anyway, yeah. So Killer Queen Black, I do think, and I think this is a problem, and we're guilty of this too. But the way that a lot of Nintendo stuff is covered, and the way Nintendo promotes stuff and third parties is, the game comes out, yay, let's talk about it. Or, it's about to come out, hey, this game looks really cool, let's talk about it. It comes out, yay, that's great. 2 weeks later, never heard of again. Maybe there's a few that get some big DLC. We talk about Sword and Shield, Breath of the Wild, that. But for the most part, a lot of these games, it's like flash in the pan a second it's out, no one really talks about it. And then they improve. Like Killer Queen Black, fixed issues, dropped its price, but no one's ever going to talk about it again. So I'm starting a campaign right here, right now, for everyone to go buy Killer Queen Black. I have no pull whatsoever, but this is my attempt.
Tumbleseed did its best to fix itself way after it got released.
Right, and no one, like, we talked about Tumbleseed.
But it felt like it was kind of too late. I liked the game initially because it was difficult, but, that ended up being one of its biggest
downsides. Yeah. And that's the thing, is, like, we never talked about the update because at that point it wasn't really, in our mindset, relevant. But, like, how do people learn about these things? Because I feel like Nintendo, they pushed Killer Queen Black really hard that one E3. It got delayed a year. And then Nintendo put out a tweet like, oh, yeah, I remember this game. It's out. And that was it. And then no one talked about it. And it's just like, there's games that have potential, especially in this day and age where, like, a game's release doesn't define its popular. Like, when it's released doesn't define when it gets popular. Like, stuff like old retro games on Switch in particular always come back. Look at Witcher 3, like we were talking about last episode. So it's just kind of an odd thing that we're all guilty of. That's just how hype cycles work and news cycles work, where it's like, oh, this is really cool. I don't care anymore, and it's only been one day. Like that sort of thing. So, I don't know. Go buy Killer Queen Black. Anyway, last topic.
Lego Mario.
Yes, so this is the most wholesome of all the topics, I feel like. Like, I feel like after all the somewhat doom and gloom and then our distaste for Mario Kart Tour, we can end on a happy note.
Yeah, we need some whimsy up in this.
Yeah. So, they made Legos that are Mario. and Mario, but made of Legos. Actually, Lego. The plural of Lego, I learned, is Lego, no S.
Really? You just
When did you learn
I
this?
learned that when I saw a clip from Will Ferrell's Lego Masters on his Twitter where he was correcting someone about... Or no, it wasn't on his Twitter. It was him on Kimmel, and he kept saying Lego, and Kimmel kept going, how much are they paying you to not say the S? He's like, no, you don't understand. That's not the word. And he kept, like, correcting him. Like, they kept going back and forth for, like, the whole interview every time Lego came.
You also got the wrong Will.
What? Did I say Will Smith?
You said... You got the wrong...
Will
You said Will Ferrell.
Yeah, you said
Will Arnett. No, I love Will Arnett. How did I mix him up with Will Ferrell?
Did I say Will Smith? So you got it wrong twice.
Wait, are you saying I said Will Forte?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. But, no, yeah, Will... did I say Ferrell? You should have said M. Defoe, because he goes by William. But anyway.
I know.
Anyway, yeah, so Nintendo and Lego announced this thing. They're describing it as neither a video game nor a traditional Lego brick-based set. Instead,
that's fair because it clearly looks like neither of those.
I know. Yeah. It's a new product line. Yeah, it's a new product line that's interactive. You have this figurine. It can collect coins in these real-life levels you make with these Lego-esque bricks. And
it looks like modules. You have a bunch of modules. You have a Piranha Plant module. You have a space module. You have coin block modules that you just connect like Legos, I guess, but more like a train carts.
Yeah, and what's interesting is like
a Mario Party board, I guess.
Yeah, actually that's a good analogy. And what they're doing to achieve this is the Lego Mario is not a normal minifigurine. It's like the quadruple size one that includes 3 tiny screens. There's one on his chest to simulate the coin grabbing, and it tells you when you stomp enemies. And it has a timer, and it shoots fire. So I guess he has a heartburn mode or something. I assume it means you die, but the fire's a little weird because there's no fire in normal Mario when you die. You just go to a black screen. But basically everything you do in the level gives you coins. It makes the appropriate sounds in a speaker in the back of his head. And from what the video showed, you start by placing Mario in a warp pipe that kicks off the timer, and then you gotta go and get all the coins you can in the level you built. You know, you stomp on Goomba you built, you get them that way. You do a spin move by rotating a platform with a lever, you get it that way. There's some physicality where you can actually like flick something that sort of springs Mario off a platform into like a Piranha Plant. You get coins that way. And that's kind of the gist of it. But what did you guys think of it when you saw it? Or now, after you sat on those thoughts for a few days?
I was just curious what the limitations that it's setting it so far that keeps you from simply just like making Mario go straight to the warp pipe. I mean, to the flag at the end. Like, obviously, they have something...
Well, it's about who gets the most coins.
Really? That's it?
It's a coin challenge.
Oh, that's like the worst thing of every...
Well, because you're building the level, so how do they determine if you're doing the level right?
Well, exactly.
The whole idea is...
Because if you... That's the thing. Like, I figured, like, if... I thought they would have something in place. I mean, like, toys are pretty smart nowadays that if you connect all these modules together, it'll know what modules are connected. And because you have a very strict time limit, you would pretty much be forced to go through every single one because they would know if you skip some. And
you know, it might still do that. It might. So it's kind of
like a time trial, and like, you know, kind of like a... I don't know. I guess it'd be almost like a puzzle. So it's like, all right, you have to take the path, you have to do the spin, you have to pretty much make sure you do everything as fast as possible to get to the end. I mean, that's what I first assumed. If it's just about getting coins,
I may be wrong. There may be,
but
more
it's also clearly not aimed at us.
That's the thing that kind of...
Like, I mean, honestly, I love the idea. I think it's cool. I think it's great that Nintendo, when they did do this partnership with Lego, is doing something unique and different that definitely
that isn't just Lego sets.
Yeah, that literally doesn't look like anything I've seen before. But while that is cool and exciting, I actually do hope somewhere are the normal Lego sets, because I do want to see like you know, like how they have the Simpsons house, but make it Bowser's Castle, or
get other franchises and make Hyrule
Castle from
Temple of Time, make
64.
Peach's Castle.
Both castles. Oh,
well, man. To that point,
they're going to be...
To that point, if you look at the current block sets...
Bowser's airship. Damn.
We need to just take a soundbite of that and just have it on file.
Or just make like a giant like N64 style Bowser that you have to build.
That'd be super cool. And here's the thing. So here's the thing. First of all, there are more sets coming. There's apparently
normal sets or
no. At least of this, to your idea of like, but they're probably gonna get more elaborate. They're saying or not.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would imagine they definitely need to get more elaborate.
It was leaked by a Dutch Lego fan site called Stone something, that there are 13 listings in the European like SKU system for this stuff, ranging in price from blind bags at $3.99
blind bags.
Hold on, for the enemies, I'm guessing there'll be blind bag, Goomba, Monty Mole. Of course, dude, they're gonna make money that way. But no, so those blind bags, they don't actually know if they're blind bags. All they know is it's €4 a pop, which translates to $4.50 US for those little ones. I'm guessing they're enemies, all the way up to a €99 set, or about $110 if you do, which means it'll be $99.99 here, which is gonna be the complete like starter kit or whatever. So it's very possible in those 13, we're gonna get a castle, we're gonna get an airship, we're gonna get whatever. But that's the thing, they're still not gonna be the elaborate, super fancy ones I think we all kind of want to see. And that, to me, is what kind of, not rub me the wrong way, but that's the thing when I watched the trailer, I was like, this is really cool. And like even the way they started with the little like clicking in the bricks to the rhythm of the Mario theme, I was like, oh, that's really good. But something about it looks very like Duplo-y. It looks more like Duplo than Lego. It looks more childish than it.
Because nothing is really like
because it's not traditional Legos. Like that's
no, but I mean, but like it's like everything's like rounded corners, and it's like very like it looks very like a Duplo product, which is kind of funny because
exactly your point. Yeah. It doesn't look like a Lego product.
Yeah,
it looks just like a regular toy set.
Mm-hmm. I watched the trailer again.
But what's kind of funny is like Nintendo has done more elaborate ones. They have the Kinect line for Mario Kart, which is Lego's competitor.
The Bluetooth switch on its back.
They do. They have the nanoblock Pokemon, which are super elaborate, made of small bricks. So it's odd. I mean, it's intentional. But part of me is like, why is this one the one that's all done down?
Anything on here uses a normal Lego brick.
They do a little. So I wrote...
Oh, yeah. I guess the paths.
The paths and some of the enemies, the Goombas and stuff, are made up of... Well, I mean, they're custom...
They're definitely not... Yeah, exactly. That's custom, not normal Lego.
Yeah, I see your point. Yeah.
They call them cheater blocks.
Right. But, like, it's interesting. Like, if you ignore the Target demo... and what we may want as adult fans, and just focus on what it is. No. If you ignore that, like it's actually, I was gonna say the opposite. You gotta give them credit where it's due, because like
I did.
They're letting you said it's terrible, right?
No, before that. I love the idea of what they're doing.
No, the idea is cool because it's not just like it's something interactive. They're literally letting kids do a video game in real life. They've made a tangible, physical video game.
Yeah, it's analog Mario.
Yeah, and like this project was apparently in the works for 4 years, so they've been working really trying to make this happen. And what's wild is like they're using all sorts of interesting tech to make it happen. Like obviously, there's the color screen on the Lego itself, which is kind of neat.
I wouldn't mind just having that Mario and that.
Right, that's what I'm thinking too. But in the same way that they've kind of done like unique, cool stuff with Labo and Ring Fit, where they essentially gamified a common object, a cardboard, a lap band thing, and now Lego bricks, although not quite. They're doing the same thing. And there's this interview with I guess he's the digital design manager for this whole project, a guy named Jonathan Bennick. And he was
got a problem with that last name?
No, it was fun to say, Bennick. But he was talking to a site called The Brothers Brick, which I guess is a big Lego site. They did a whole interview with him, and apparently, this is how serious this collaboration is, and this is why I'm like, we gotta give him credit, even if it's not for us. Takashi Tezuka, who you may recognize as the guy who's basically the keeper of all 2D Mario under Miyamoto. He worked on the series forever. He directed my all-time fave, Super Mario World. He directed Super Mario 3. He's the producer of the entire new Super Mario Brothers series. He did this with them. So Nintendo approached it like they were making a Mario game, but it's physical, and that's really cool. Like it was to the point where Nintendo actually handled all the playtesting and worked with them to figure out how building a level would work. So they basically he also produced Mario Maker, so it's very much they're treating it like a video game. And the thing is, to your point, Angel, to that end, they made some decisions like you can't actually build a level wrong. There's just different ways to build a level. It's almost like
Mario Maker?
Yeah, it's almost like Mario Maker. And they were giving a few examples in the interview. Like they did playtesting all over the world in all these different countries, and some people built a lava level first. They were saying that one girl built a sand level because it was hot outside that day. Someone else made actually, I'll show you two examples I have written here apparently. But my point is they're letting people do their own thing, and that's kind of cool on that level. And then the tech they're doing in tandem with that's actually interesting. It turns out, if you look at it, it looks like it's NFC, right? Like you tap the Legos and they see, it's like, oh, it tapped. It's not. It's an optical sensor. So what they're doing is on the bottom of his feet, it can read a selection of color palettes of Lego bricks. And then they also have little stickers that are pre-applied on things like the Bowser Jr. shield or the Piranha Plant. And you can see them in the trailer if you look really closely. And they are basically
Jr. shield?
That's verbatim what he says in the quote.
Huh.
I
didn't see no shield on him.
Well, take it up with my friend Jonathan Bennick. But no, he might mean the shell, but it says shield. Copy pasted. But the point is, they have these little barcodes, and it's actually Mario reading those barcodes in real time that triggers some of the more elaborate reactions if you're fighting a boss or a bigger enemy or something. And then otherwise, it's using color coding of the bricks. So it's actually like it's very similar to how Labo would, you put the sticker in and it would use that. So it's actually kind of cool tech. And it sounds like there's other stuff at play. You know, the Bluetooth thing. They're not talking about what that is. All they said is it doesn't connect to the Switch.
It doesn't?
It does not connect to the Switch. But also they were talking about different characters, and they pointed out Mario's head can come off, so you can use your imagination about what that means in terms of other things. So I'm guessing they're going to be able to swap in different things.
Characters, okay.
Or like different, like maybe different interactive elements, because the head could have some of the brains for the screen. I don't know. So it's possible that they can upgrade Mario's functionality in the future, is what I'm thinking. But yeah, it seems like they're doing a lot of cool stuff. And at one point he was going to be yellow. They're going to make him Lego brick yellow, and then they realized that looked really weird and scaled that back. But yeah, and then also I guess if you're a Lego fanatic, whoever out there is, yeah, we already know it's entirely new block designs, which
I
is
feel like
very
that would only
intentional.
work if they like get rid of his nose, but they would also have to make him like down to normal Lego brick size. Cause
If they do what, the yellow?
Yeah, they do yellow.
Oh, then he'd be a Simpson.
Well, I mean, they're all Simpsons.
I know, yeah. But apparently, the new Lego bricks were specifically kind of designed how they look to, based on Super Mario 3D World, which coincidentally is what Super Nintendo World is modeled after. So clearly these partnerships were forged around the same time, and I bet you the Mario movies have that same aesthetic now too. I think that's all from the same
It's gonna be all
era.
Lego.
No, it's gonna be all like the Mario 3D World look.
Oh,
But yeah, I guess the point is whether like we're into it or not, whether it's kiddie or not, it is cool that
I mean, I feel like all that. Yeah, it's the same. It's Labo all over again.
it's Labo all over again.
Yeah,
But what
it's
is cool.
It may not be for everybody, but I mean, I'm glad Nintendo is being weird and trying stuff.
And what I really like is like these more elaborate partnerships with Mario IPs. Like they really get that it's not just the character. The character's a stand-in for this certain type of interactivity. Like sure, other collaborations are fine. Like on Mario Day, they announced those Levi Mario jeans.
You're getting those overalls, right?
The overalls with the coins coming out of the back pocket. No,
What?
Are you? Are you?
Of course.
Are you?
Yeah.
You go wear them?
Yeah.
Really? In the world?
Sure.
You can't say it with a straight face.
Because I'm considering it.
Kevin, what about you? Would you buy?
How
those?
much are they? $20?
No, like try like 80 or 60.
No, I don't wear overalls.
Neither do
I don't have anything against them. I just don't wear them.
I don't wear them either. I wore them in
Maybe-
the Oshkosh Bagosh days when I was a small child. But
I mean, maybe I'm going to go paint a fence or something.
you're gonna paint a fence in your Mario jeans and ruin them, Mario overalls and ruin
That's
them,
what overalls are for, right? For working?
or for bopping on turtles, I guess. I don't know.
The
I've
worker
never worn
man's
them.
uniform.
But anyway,
Wait, so is that can? Are we to believe that when he collects them, he puts them in his back pocket?
I think he shoves them in every surface he can.
Like,
'cause
is
he has
that
a
is
lot
that where
of
they
them.
come?
Where do they go otherwise? Actually, this is a really good question. Where do the coins go?
I guess it's
Well, I
pocket.
guess his back pocket. I guess that's canon
that's a
now.
lot of. I guess so. But the that's interesting. But yeah, the point I was getting at with the Levi's and stuff, like those collaborations are cool. And like the Uniqlo line did really well for them, so much that they did 2 more lines after that. And like the Vans one was super hot the summer it came out. But it's just giving existing fans a way to kind of show their fandom. It's very much the Comic-Con thing I was saying earlier. What's cool about Super Nintendo World and the Lego Mario thing and all that is it goes beyond that. Like you can be into Legos and then maybe check out Lego Mario. You can be into, as a younger kid, or your Duplo's an upgrade. You can be at Universal Studios and be like, oh, this power-up wristband thing's really interesting, and have fun at Super Nintendo World, and then maybe make your way further into Nintendo fandom. So these are like very forward-thinking, and I think that's what's very interesting. Is like it's like Nintendo has 2 tracks. They have just the we'll license their stuff out like Disney does and just make some merch money off existing fans. But this other track where they're actually doing interesting new things, different things, innovative, you could say, things is the much more fascinating one. They're basically taking what we, or at least I have always liked about Nintendo, weird Nintendo, and applying it outside of just games, which is super cool, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm probably going to buy like at least the Mario just to say I have it.
It'll be interesting to see how much they support it.
Yeah, right? That's the thing. Like, are they going to do a Series 2 or are they going to do a Series 3?
Probably just a one and done.
Maybe. I don't know if it sells well.
We'll say I give this 3 series tops.
Yeah.
How many rounds did Labo go?
3. But the difference with Lego is it's a very established brand. Labo, you're trying to sell kids on cardboard. And STEM
Sure.
toys. Lego's like the biggest toy brand in the world. So there's a chance it could blow up. But it's so different from regular Legos that who knows. I do think it opens an interesting opportunity for them to flip this a little. Like, if they can do a Lego Mario, they could do a Lego Mario game. Because, right, I mean, let's say Alpha Dream,
oh boy,
you know, they went under, right? Or supposedly they closed. That was the report a year ago. This developers of Mario and Luigi, the series. Right. If that's the case and Nintendo decides to sunset the Mario and Luigi games because they don't have their dev studio that's made all of them, there's a nice void there for a meta parody game to show up. And it will be a different genre, but it feels that same...
the Lego games?
Traveler's Tales.
Traveler's Tales, okay.
But it basically, like, it lets them do a different genre of Mario, create a different type of game, do a crossover with a very popular series, and kind of hit the, like, self-aware Mario game void, or mark that Mario and Luigi may no longer do. So I'm kind of may no longer like have. So I'm kind of hopeful they do that. I'm really curious to see how that would look through the lens of, you know, Traveler Tales every game they ever do. And like those Lego games are supposedly, I've played a couple downs, but I never actually played them, but they're apparently pretty fun. And like if you're a fan of the thing they're parodying, they do a very good job and a lot of deep jokes and Easter eggs and stuff. So like I'd be cool with that. Maybe that's something that's kind of layered to see in tandem with the toys. I don't know. They haven't even said when the toys are coming out, so damn. Who knows? But yeah, I think that of all the topics we talked about today, that feels like a good one to be our last. Like, look at that little Mario with reactionary expressions on his face.
Face is pretty cool.
Yeah. I'd be okay if they made it a clock. Like a lot of people, when the teaser came out on Mario Day, were like, "Oh, I hope it's not just a clock." Like that was a real thing people were saying, like just a big Lego themed Mario clock. But like if you had that little Lego figurine and you can charge it. You know, next to your bed and you're a kid, and it also showed you the time. Mario's eyes would like you know, wake up when your alarm clock goes up. Yeah, like that would it'd be almost like a Mario Furby without the annoyance. They should. Hey not Hasbro. Hey Lego. Not that you're listening, but like you should do that as a charging mode. Kids would eat that up. Have Mario wake you up. But anyway, I don't know if there's any other topics you guys want to talk about. I've retired the item block. It has expired. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right, so that does it for this episode. We'll be back 2 weeks' time on March 29th, assuming we all survive the next few weeks. I hope everyone stays safe out there. But it's going to be a good episode, I think, because it's going to be pretty like Animal Crossing-tastic. We're going to have impressions of New Horizons, the latest news, whatever it may be. Rumor is we're finally getting the long delayed Nintendo Direct. I forgot which site reported it, but they were saying this coming week is an Indie World presentation, perhaps, and then the week of the 26th will be a Direct. If that's the case, you can expect all our analysis. If that's not the case, we're just going to talk about how much we love bug catching and Animal Crossing, I guess. But to make sure you don't miss it, you can follow us on Twitter at Ram Nintendo. You can subscribe to us on every platform you can think of. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, which I now realize I think Google Podcasts is still called Google Music. Or Google Plus Music or whatever. It's not actually called Google Podcasts yet. They said they're going to rebrand it, and then they didn't, and I keep using the brand that's not official yet. Anyway, it's on those. It's on Spotify. It's on Stitcher. It's on TuneIn. It's on Pandora. We are on all those things. We are on YouTube. Our channel is RamNintendo.com. Individually, you can find us on the internet. I am on the Twitter, specifically the Twitters of the internet. I am JSR7. Angel is Weiro, WEIRO_O. Kevin is KVN Gomez. Kevin, I won't trample on it this time. The last word.
Wash your hands, people.